Futures back in negative territory here to start things off on a Friday morning, only just right now, 0.4%. It's been a bit of a chop fest so far in the pre-market. Lots to discuss so far this morning. FedEx downside on earnings as forecast mostly. Nike, same story. Initial move, really interesting after the close last night, was higher and then got faded pretty hard for Nike. So back to the downside we go. Tesla back in focus this morning as well. We'll touch on a couple of things as far as Tesla's concerned. 0.4 to the upside right now, back at that 238 level. This was interesting yesterday. Jensen just straight up saying, yeah, I was wrong about quantum in that projection of, what was it, 15 or 20 years he was saying initially that it was going to take before they get any kind of anything worthy coming out of that space. But yesterday comes out and I mean, he invites all these companies to his conference. Like, what's he going to say? Obviously.
Well, you can't crap on them when they're right next to him, Brendo. But yeah, good look there. We'll have to wait and see exactly how that all unfolds. That was Quantum Day yesterday at NVIDIA's GTC. We'll keep an eye on that. As Brendo mentioned, Nike down aggressively, 7%. Micron as well reported, 3.5% in the negative. Kind of a mixed report, some possible upside to that as well. Tesla in focus today as some issues are in that company, obviously. SMCI getting the nod today, an upgrade. Likewise, Apple also in focus today as they look to shift some executives out of the AI department after the botched rollout there in AstraZeneca investing some money in China.
Yeah, I read that Siri was not handled well, so we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, interesting. Elon having an all hands on deck meeting. Trying to calm everyone down and basically told investors to stay the course and highlighted all the potential upside with the robotics and the AI and the compute power they're working on.
And he's not being spared here either. I don't know if you saw the headline in Hamilton, a city near Toronto here. 60 some odd Teslas were vandalized in a parking lot. So it continues, we continue to reel from that same issue.
Yeah, another earnings name worth noting, home builder, Lennar downside this morning. Not a lot of volume here, but 4.2%. So number of reports worth keeping an eye on this morning as we get going. But yeah, I mean, interesting spot here for the market. Michael Noss coming up here this morning. He's going to touch on why we should be buying the dip, possibly at this point. So Michael Noss coming here in about 5 minutes. Good morning, guys.
Morning. So
buying the dip. Huh?
FedEx down, Nike up then down, Micron up then down, Neo actually downside as well. They were this morning. And we have CCL that is yet to report, but literally all of the travel names are down because of what happened, the shutting down of Heathrow. But wow.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, so far it's not that great. Weirdly, Tesla's like the stock that's up right now. And GME on my quote board was actually up. But you know what? You don't have to buy stocks. Apparently, just buy sports teams. Just buy the Celtics in 02 for $360 million. Flip that bad boy in a couple of decades for $6 billion, and you know you're good to go. So
you invested in the market in 02.
Well, I know. I'm not saying it's better return.
Oh no, it's way better. It's way better.
I mean, it's obviously
that's
a pretty
record sale there.
Nice move there.
Who wound up buying them?
The private equity guy. I forget the name. But it was some big private equity guy bought. But the Celtics, they'll probably. They'll probably get there again, so it's probably a good buy, and then you will look back in 20 years, or look, in 20 years from now, and say it was another good buy for them. But things usually go up, but today, market down as usual.
That guy die.
What are you gonna do?
We do hear Brendan in our ear. George Steinbrenner, he was wondering about right there. Oh, you got your IEX mug.
Oh, that's right. Shout out to the boys from IEX because got us. We were talking about this week. About how I waste coffee because it gets cold all the time. And I'm just getting a new one when I don't finish it. So got this nice Yeti. Sean has one to pick up one as well. Somewhere. So appreciate it. Now I can just slowly enjoy the coffee. I'll probably still need a refill at some point.
So are we supposed to use the IEX gateway now or what? What is that? What is that? What's up with that?
Well, that's we should have access to it.
Hey, we do.
They're the ones with the speed bump. If you read Flash Boys, in reaction to that, they threw in the speed bump. Stop predatory algos, that kind of a thing.
Yeah. All right, so yesterday, Joseph and I were on the after show, of course, doing the recap, and Micron was great. And then all of a sudden, we come in today, and Micron is not so great anymore. It was just straight up. It was holding, no problem. I come in today, I log in, and I'm like, what? is going on. So I don't know what's going on with Micron right there, down 3%. I thought it was a little bit better. They beat everywhere. It's the same as Nike, beat everywhere. And I even said yesterday, Nike has no business even guiding, but yet they do it anyways. I don't know why any of these companies come out and guide. There's no way in hell I would guide right now if I was any of these companies. So Nike was fine until the conference call started, and then they started talking about uncertainties, right? I mean, it's fine to do that. That's great, but like everybody knows there's going to be this tariff problem. Trying to get rid of some inventory there in China wound up working out well, obviously, as they took some margin hits, but sales were higher, so that was good. I thought Nike was better, but yeah, this name just keeps getting killed. There's Nike down another 7%, so yeah, we've now broken below. It's going to be the #1 trade idea right here on the sticky note to go short on Nike. So you're going to have to find out the levels when we post it up, but that's what I'm doing. I think it could be a buying opportunity in the longer haul. Remember, this Elliott Hill dude, he's been here for 40 years. And a couple quarters in, let's give, maybe this was a kitchen sink, I don't know, down talk the stock so that next quarter you can win. But I don't think next quarter is going to be that great either. So I can't believe Michael's going to come on here and talk about buying some of this dip. Like earnings season, in my opinion, you want to talk about earnings season? Okay. Whoopsies. FedEx, right? So they just reported, shippers downside. That's horrible. That's really bad for recession. You never want to see shipping companies getting crushed this way. They're getting crushed. All right. I mean, look at FedEx. You're telling me this is not signaling recession right now? So that was bad, right? That was earnings season, right? So we're just starting the earnings season now. So here we go. Micron down, right? So you got tech names down. FedEx down. Okay, well, maybe the home builders are going to save us, right? So then let's go over and have a quick look at Lennar and see what they're up to. Nope. Down 4% again as well. So right now you have basically 3 different sectors. You have retail, you have home builders, and then you have shipping. All got crushed yesterday on earnings, right? And then, of course, we're not that we were too worried about Luminar or anything like that. But, if you go into some of these growth names as well, maybe this could be a spot. But look at this name. This was $6.30 all the way up to $8. And now, although it's nice to be up 5%, not that much volume, we'll wait to see what happens down here at $6 again. This name could turn red. So I don't know. Market downside. It is witching today, so we do have expiration. It's just looking real bad out there right now. I mean, even names we just talked about, Apple. I mean, Apple's whatever. We've seen Google all the way to the downside. Apple's had a horrible 2 weeks. I venture to say probably the 2 worst weeks maybe in the history of the stock, honestly. I mean, we can look back at COVID, but this move down here in 4 days, I've never seen Apple move like that. This was a nice move, obviously, off the top as well. So I think we might have gone there, and now we're going here again. So it's like this drop followed by this. I mean, the measured move, this might be the same. But if you break through here, 208, no, I don't want it to do anything, man. I need these stocks to stable out. Like this, you drop through 208, we've already seen what happens, right? Like, well, look at Google. Anyways, I just can't wait for Michael Noss to come on. This guy's a chart guy. I want to see why we're catching some of these falling knives. So I hope there's different sectors that we talk about, because right now tech, although I'm loaded up in tech, I mean, I wish tech was a little bit better, but I mean, okay. Like these are the top 10 companies in the world. Some of these ones that we're looking at here with NVIDIA, Google, Apple. Tesla's fallen out, but Amazon. I mean, what about Amazon? 3 packages delivered yesterday to my house. What is going on here? These things are just absolutely getting tuned right now. Let alone Microsoft, let alone Meta, trying to hold the 200 period. Amazon and Meta we talked about this.
They're the only 2.
Yeah, they're the ones that are kind of hanging around, and I think that I could wrap my head around why some of these would work out in the longer term, but I don't know.
Meta's chart, Amazon's is basically the same thing, I would say, on the daily chart. Meta's is just a little bit better, but they're the ones that have pulled back and are at, like, I don't know, to me, what actually look like technical support levels. Like, you're above breakout prices from last year. Like, last year's breakout of Meta was at 540, 542, in that range, and then it held it as support. You're still above that price. Like, most other stocks are not above levels like that in that tech space. So yeah, I'm kind of with the Meta and Amazon holding out a little bit better. And as we were joking around, Tesla's already red. So Tesla was like the one stock that was one of the big cap tech names that was.
Is it red? It just turned? Oh,
you know what? It's now going back and forth. Okay, so 2 seconds ago it was red. Now you're seeing it was.
Hey man, down at zeros is still.
No, like
red
all
enough.
morning. Yeah, all morning it was the only Mag 7 name or even
here we
big
go.
cap tech that was holding higher, and now you're.
There you go, Neil. See, you just
Well,
confirmed
not
it. It
my
was
fault.
just yes, it is your fault. It was just at zero, and now you're down quarter.
No,
of a
no,
point.
quarter. Well, I mean, I just think
Come on, man.
it's gotten to 230 every other day, so why wouldn't it get to 230 again today? I don't know.
Look, I'm going to say something here. It's very, very easy for anybody to say, let's buy now for the long term. That's the easiest, most like chalk thing to say in the history of investing. Buy now, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm looking at this in 10 years. That's easy to say. That's the easiest investing because it's true. It's like it's so easy to say, but everybody's wanting to know when to get your money in. I don't think now. Like it's just you wait for the plays to come through. Sharif's talked about waiting. Like anyone can say, well, I'm going to buy now and I'm not going to worry about it. That way you don't look like an idiot 6 months from now because you say, well, I'm holding for a year. You know, it's
DCAs, just like sleep.
Right, exactly. You just dollar cost average. It's the easiest thing to say. But that's
buy one quarter, buy the next quarter.
Right, but that's not what people are asking, right? People want to know, where is now the time?
But no, but if someone's asking for investment or trade, different thing. If you're asking for investment, I'm not going to sit here and say pick bottoms for investing because I think that's
Thank you,
foolish.
Randy.
If you're talking for trading, I don't see anything that technically looks good for a long trading it. I would venture to say Meta looks good enough that if you do any kind of like a little reversion on Meta actually looks okay, but not yet. Like there hasn't been a sign yet that it's turning. Because I think I'd rather, for trading, you want to join moves, not make bottoms, I think. But it's just two different, now it's down 0.5%. It's just two different brains. And thank you for the refill. I got the Yeti thing now, so this one isn't even cold yet. Nice.
Yeah.
Double fist. Yeah, you probably don't want to look today. I haven't looked, but you probably don't want to look.
Okay, so like here's a guy, Randy, right here, that's actually made a call on something, right? Mm-hmm. So you're actually saying that you will wait for Rivian to get to 1020 and then buy it. Yep. Right, so there we go. So this is what I'm talking about. Now we have a call on a spot that you like here on Rivian where you're going to get in there and buy. And then, you know what? If it dumps down, again, I don't know how long you're planning on holding this thing. The low is 830. So this is what I'm saying. Like if you like this level there, is it worth 20% to hold it down to the bottoms, right? Right, and so that's what I mean. You got to try to pick some names that are like that because right now I'm just dipping into the SPY. That's the one thing that I've been buying. I haven't bought now in a week and a half. I haven't bought anything. I bought JP Morgan was the last time. And the SPY, it's like all these dollar cost average, you know, you get it in there, you get it in there, you get it in there, you're going to get it in there, you're going to get it in there. So it's just a matter of trying to find out where you think the right spot is to dollar cost average. And if you have a note, I have something in my account there every month trying to buy it, and then I'll make the decision if I want to. But right now, SPY, everything downside. Again, heightened volume today as well with expiration. So, yeah, it's not too bad. BAC there as a sell. The volumes aren't that crazy right now off the open.
Not yet.
So, and there goes the SPY again. Now the NASDAQ's down 0.92. So it's like, yeah, you could dollar cost average until you run out of money, I guess. That's the other thing. So, all right, let's go, man. QBTS, some of the quantum names. Again, maybe not investing names, but definitely names you might want to trade.
Names.
QBTS down to $8 right now, and probably
it's almost
going
at that
lower.
750.
Yeah, 750 might be a good spot there. I bought Rigetti last that time at $6. RGTI. Where is this one? This was a trade. Was 6 to 9.
They're close to the same price.
You're close to that. Well, but Rigetti I bought off the 50-period moving average, or was it? Where was it last time? It was here, 6 to 9, whatever this was. Okay, so yeah, now you're way underneath. Yeah, so now look at this 50-period on the daily. That was pretty good there. Really gave us the tops for 4 straight days. All right, so now you got to wait for 450 for Rigetti, I would think, on that play. So we'll have to wait. But yeah, it's 844. I'm very, very excited to hear Michael Noss give the case for getting in there and buying right now. My bet is he says, you know, buy a little here, buy a little there.
He is waiting in the wings. Just real quick, I was just reading MicroStrategy pricing that offering we were talking about earlier in the week, 8.5 million shares of 10% Series A perpetual Stripe preferred at $85. So yeah, get ready for some more buying as far as strategy and Bitcoin. Here's IBIT right now, 47, trying to hold, or 47.50, I guess, trying to hold here. Still in a downtrend as well for IBIT. As mentioned, I will grab his content this morning. We'll bring in Michael Noss here for a chat on where the overall market is and what he has been looking at and seeing as far as technicals. Mr. Noss, good to see you.
Yeah, so MicroStrategy, again, the Ponzi scheme keeps going for now, I guess.
I mean, it's every week, right? He just has to keep buying.
Wow. Well, hopefully it works for him, but if it doesn't, I think that when I think this thing explodes, I think it will be the greatest buying opportunity for Bitcoin of all time.
We shall see. You had an interesting note here, or an article you were talking about as far as the S&P specifically. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so I don't know what you guys read when you're getting ready for bed or you're in bed, but one thing that I like to read, I came across this, is algorithm-based low-frequency trading using stochastic oscillator Williams %R in trading volume for the S&P 500. It's a catchy title, for sure, but it's kind of right what's on the tin. So it was an interesting study. This was done around 2023, 2024. I like studies like this that have been around for a little bit because they show that at least there's been one occurrence since this study and it ended up working. So essentially what they're just looking at is ways to buy dips on the S&P 500 using indicators that we're all pretty familiar with, right? So the stochastic and the Williams R. Williams R might be a little bit more rare from Larry Williams, but it's essentially an RSI type indicator. So I have them highlighted here, and the dotted lines are what we're looking to buy. So the rules of the strategy that I like were really simple, and it's you're using a 10 period on a weekly chart. So 2 weeks, you're using a 10 period stochastic, and you're using a 10 period Williams R. And the idea was, what if we just buy every time the market gets to this extreme oversold rating, which is very rare to happen, and then we hold it until this 10 period stochastic and 10 period Williams R flip, so they get to the overbought territory. So you're buying extreme dips and then you're selling when the market rips. There was a protective stop of about 10%. It's just FYI, just listing out all the rules of the strategy here. And the next chart, it shows the equity curve. So there was only 10 or 11 instances when doing this particular trading style, but then also there's been, I think, 2 or so since it triggered, and they all work. So as of publishing this, it was a 90% win rate. Now we're not talking a huge amount of trades, because again, the idea was low frequency kind of trading. However, as you can see with the equity curve there, it ended up doing really well. This is essentially if you put a little bit of leverage on it as well, I think 1.5 leverage. But the idea is, because you're buying in these dip conditions, and then generally speaking, you're selling when the trend really gets extended, you end up beating the market, not by a crazy amount, but it might be one of those things that you use it as a signal. Even if you don't start trading the exact strategy, the fact that someone has done this testing and the results happen, and again, the study ended in 2024, you can see before the breakout, and there's been at least one instance I could find since then, and that worked as well. That got me really interested. So the next chart here is just, again, the S&P 500 with those 2 indicators down below. And the first bubble there is where you would have picked some up, and that was April 2024. You can see both of them below that dotted line. So the idea is you buy on the close of that weekly candle, and then that's where you would have sold later. So another successful trade would have happened on that one, nailing pretty much the low. You can see the August yen carry unwind almost got us there, but the down move just wasn't sustained enough to trigger. But if you look at the last chart here, if you zoom in, the reason I'm talking about this now, you can see we're triggering that as of last week, but also still in the condition this week as well. So not saying, right, you just buy the dip and go all in and walk away, but we've been talking about this for a little bit, that at some point we have to get a bounce here. Now, if we're going to follow this system, it's not just buy here and sell for a week or so. You're selling when the market gets back to that oversold territory, and that could take weeks or months or longer. So this is a very interesting way to potentially trade this from a completely systematic point of view. So if you're, stressing about when do I buy, what do I buy, that type of thing, this is why I love statistics and studies like this, right? Doesn't mean it's going to work. There was one instance in where it didn't in the back test, and we don't know if these things are going to continue going forward. But at least you have a plan. If you're going to attack this market here, you have a plan. You have some amount of data that backs up that plan, and then you also again have an exit criteria. So this is very interesting. Something I'm going to take a look at. I'm going to go through, and if we close strong today, I think I'm going to add a little bit of SPY or even a leveraged SSO or something to my portfolio.
Taking the emotions out of things, something that is definitely a challenge, I think, without having a set rule. Like if you zoom back into that chart, I was just thinking here, going back to the beginning of the year on that dip, I think it was the yen move that we were talking about, and then we almost got there. A lot of people would have, I think, a hard time saying, okay, I'm just going to take a little bit here. It'll be fine if you put a stop, under a low or something like that. But it's when you start, making things up as you go that you tend to get into a little bit of trouble.
Well, it's always the problem, too, with mean revision. One of my favorite charts, and I should maybe bring that one time, but I think everyone's seen it, is the reasons to sell chart. And it's, a real long-term look at the SPY, and it highlights, every war or, the U.S. debt getting downgraded, and then COVID, and then this. But when you zoom out long enough, they all kind of look like blips. And the point of that chart is just saying there's always a reason to sell. And it's easy to say I'm going to do a strategy like this, which is mean reversion. I'm buying, you're buying dips, you're buying on the way down. But if you're too into the news, it gets really hard to do because there's all this news about tariff wars and this and that and the other thing. So yeah, I really like systems for this reason, especially when you're buying at those times that it's the hardest to.
What would you say though to someone who maybe struggles with sticking to rule sets? And I mean, I speak of myself here in this case where, it's easy after the fact to go back and say, just buy here, sell here based on this rule set. But in the moment, Sharif and I were talking about this yesterday, it's when it feels the worst, it looks the worst, it smells the worst. That's typically the time that you should be doing something.
Yeah, and this is, getting into mean reversion systems is something that's fairly new to me. I've been a trend follower for most of my existence, and it is hard. The biggest thing that I could say is that the more you understand your system, the easier it will be. That's why, at Stats Edge, we have on my website the back test going back 30 years for all the strategies that I'm currently running. And that helps me in times like these, not only for downtimes. Like, for example, this week, there's been no triggers this week. There's been absolutely nothing to do. And an old me would break rules and start to buy and trade things out of more boredom. But I think the more that you study the equity curve of your back test, the more you can see things like what happened in 2008, what happened in the year 2000, what happened during COVID. And you can see these extreme examples and you can say, okay, it was hard to do then, but if I had followed my rules, this would have been the outcome. And I just think having that data and going over that frequently and having some trust in the system that you're following, it definitely helps. But it's one of those, a lot of people, they say they want to get into systematic trading like I'm getting into now to avoid emotions, but I can tell you, it doesn't avoid the emotion, it just changes the ones. It's just, you have to have more faith, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, well said. Great stuff as always. Michael Noss, have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday.
See you Monday.
Yeah, have a great weekend there, Michael, and see you Monday. And it'll be a different, Monday is going to be, it's a different week, it's a different time. And remember, today is a big day in the market for many, many reasons. Obviously, we're going to keep talking about it, but when you have a witching, you're going to get increased volatility at the open. This is for trading purposes, increased volume and volatility at the close as well. This is one of those, I always say this on witching, and I'll say it again. The first few minutes, it's one of those days where the first few minutes, don't mind if I'm not in position. Whoops, why am I on TD still? Oh, that's right, I was looking at the Toronto. You see this ridiculous locked and cross bids because there's really no pre-market trading of any ilk in Toronto. So you see all these crazy orders going into the auction. Level 2s look nuts. But yeah, in the first few minutes, if I don't find myself in position, willing to be very patient. If it's not at your price, like I looked over, like Tesla, you think it's crazy Tesla will retest that 230 where it's bounced 2 days in a row, 229, 230? I don't think that's crazy. Intel, which has been trending down all week, already broke its low of the day. So this is another one. Like I remember being impatient at the open on this, and if it does another pop, maybe you have to wait out the first, like, I don't know, 5, 10, 15 minutes to be able to get the reversion that you're looking for. And especially true on a rebalance day. And so Jack Gonzalez witching is just, you have a bunch of options expirations. You've got the single stock, you've got future index options, and they're all expiring today. And then at the end of the day, probably bigger for day traders at the end of the day, you have the S&P rebalancing. So you have names that are getting added to the index, which is big. Don't get me wrong, like DoorDash is going in. That's a big deal. But sometimes the reweighting of the S&P, like Broadcom is supposed to be a very large downweight, like they're reducing the number of shares. So there's a bunch of those as well. So you get a lot of volume coming in at the close. Some of it does also get done at the open. Oh yeah, and by the way, Carnival's reporting in 20 minutes too. That's the other thing. I really hate that they don't report earlier. 9:15 is such a ridiculous time to report your earnings to me.
Yeah, Carnival is the one thing that has a chance. I mean, it's been getting hit pretty good for a while, but you know, it does have that chance. Here's what Carnival looks like on the weekly chart. Right back in, right into this level. So it's got to hold right here. I would say it's going to miss, but we've already talked about how everything I feel like right now is going to be a problem. Underneath the 200 period for CCL, we'll see. I mean, we keep on hearing that cruise lines are fully or close to fully booked here for 2025. We'll hear that story very, very soon. Yeah, it's nice to have Michael on there. A couple good ideas right there. Yeah, we'll talk to him next week and see if anything has changed, because it is a volatile market, and yeah, I mean, buying the dips works until you run out of money, right? So, all right, what's up, Adara?
Very stacked list here for upgrades and downgrades as we head into the final trading day of the week. Adobe here with an upgrade from KeyBank Capital Management about a week after their earnings report. We have AutoZone getting upgraded by D.A. Davidson. Norwegian Cruise Line here with an upgrade from Morgan Stanley. Again, we're going to have these cruise lines on watch with Carnival earnings coming up. And last but not least, an interesting one here, Supermicro getting upgraded to neutral by JP Morgan Chase. You can read more about this note on our Trader TV Live watch list. But basically, they said now that the SEC filings are out of the way, they're seeing some potential for the stock. Pinduoduo leading the downgrade side of things here with a downgrade from Nomura one day after their earnings report. Another earnings downgrade here from FedEx by Loop Capital. Nike here at the bottom also getting downgraded by Needham after their report. And last but not least, TELUS here getting downgraded by BofA Securities. Really interesting list today, guys.
Yeah, well, so I know Sharif said it in the beginning, and he corrected himself, but he was right. Supermicro got an upgrade today. And the interesting thing is, maybe not a stock that you would expect to be holding support right now, but it absolutely is. This is one I've got, well, probably not for good reasons, on watch. As you can see, it's kind of got a trend line here, post that split, the recent bottom we had in November when the worst of the news was hitting. And it has broken before, although it ended up being a very good reversal after it broke the last time. Not that you would have, if you took the break, like for a couple of days, you were in the money. But this is looking like a stock which is just riding the 50 and also riding a trend going all the way back to November. Like if this breaks down, you know, into here, underneath the 38, it still looks like a good opportunity for some shorts to start winning on it. That said, you know, today, it's maybe not going to be a day trade unless you get to that 38 and maybe look for some kind of a bounce off one of those even dollar levels. But it's sitting on the precipice, SMCI, of a big trend line. And if it gets underneath that, then I would just start looking short like every day while it's underneath that 38.
You know, a name that could actually, if the market actually goes today, I mean, we could get Boeing. We talked about this the other day. Nice move off of Wednesday's, like from 162 up there to 172. It just looks like right now this could break long. If it, you know, it's trying to hold out here, like 170. If we get a dip into 170 there for Boeing, you know, again, good, like there's not too many stocks that have this kind of a trajectory right now. And remember, Someone in the chat said something pretty important, and they were like, you can also dollar cost average on the way up. You know, like we don't need to be sitting here catching all of these falling knives. Like so this would be a stock here where it's actually going to the upside. Maybe if we fall back in here, you can catch a good story on a downswing. So this would be the idea of averaging up right here today. Obviously, we're just talking about all of us here are flat at the end of every single day. We trade equity, so it's like we have to be flat. We're on a prop floor. But like this would be something where if it drops in here off the open, and I know Boeing's a risky stock. It's down today, fine. But this is another name that's working. At least we're now looking at a name that's been working and trying to catch something. So 170 there. And then what about a 174 break if the market decides not to make that move down and decides to go upside? Then you can use that using maybe even the 200 period. So it's like $2 worth of risk both ways here. You're at 172 there. I like the 170 long or the 174 break long. So that's either a dip buy or a break. I'd prefer this because then we can just get out. We can just tell ourselves, okay, it's $2 worth of risk. So you buy 170, you get down to 168, you punch out. The reason why you give yourself $2 is because 172 is going to be where the 200 and the 50 period are. So if you get back up to there, great, that's the target. If you drop $2, great, you get out. And the last example would not be great, but you would get out. So there it is, man. We can have just a quick look before we go back and do the watch list. This is what's going on in the imbalances today. It's nothing huge at all. So we're not seeing like big market imbalances yet, and I don't think we will for some reason. They may just come in the afternoon. We'll wait to see what NASDAQ hits because right now it's just NYSE. So yeah, that's a couple looks on a couple names there. I like it. People still saying Nike. Nike's the sticky note is out. This is the #1 name on the sticky note to get short. But unfortunately, again, we had written down 69 where the 200 period moving average is. We could see if this comes back up there. We may just have to smack this thing right off the open, man. I mean, I'll fix this candle, but this is a nice move down right there. We just dropped 50 cents, like boom. So Nike going to be a problem here today, that is for sure. I'm sure it's on our watch list, so let's go back over to the desk.
Guys, 57.13, that's where we close out yesterday on the ES June contract. Now, we're really bleeding here. We already lost 5,700. We're at the low right now. So the deal is we're going to look to that 56.50 area. We defended it back on the 18th and again on the 19th. If we defend it again today, it'll be a good support level. If we lose 56.50, then we're looking to that 5,600 area. If we defend 56.50, we're using 5,700 as resistance.
If you haven't done so yet, make sure you take a second, grab the watch list. Absolutely free every single day. The link is in the description. Top link, in fact, in the description will get you to the sign up page, and then you just need your email address. Yeah, Nike pushing lower here in a hurry. Just at 8% there, a bit of a bounce right now, but 66.25-ish coming into play here, down better part, of 8% at this point. Forecast not good. They're warning of lower sales once again going forward after a nice move higher initially, it's worth saying. Yeah,
it looks like it was probably the call and the guidance here that sent everything down, Brendo. So Nike expects double-digit sales decline in fiscal Q4. Analysts were predicting about 11.4%, so towards the higher end of the guide there. Gross margins are projected to drop between 4 to 5 percentage points as a result of excess liquidity and inventory. Economic uncertainty as well, Brendo. Tariffs, foreign exchange, volatility, weak consumer confidence, all playing a part in this. Now, with respect to how they beat or Q3 earnings beat expectations, they printed better EPS than what the street was looking for, 54. The street was looking for 29 pennies. Revenue was 11, a little bit more than 11 and a quarter, exceeding the 11 the street was looking for. Net income, though, fell 32% year over year, and gross margins continue to decline. Some of the areas where they're seeing pressure: North America fell 4%, China 17% drop, and direct to consumer, one of their most coveted areas, dropped 12%, with wholesale also dropping 7%. New CEO Elliott Hill aims to revive innovation and strengthen wholesale partnerships with increased competition in China. He'll be looking to take advantage of some of these newer products that they're putting out there, the Pegasus Premium and the Romero 18. That D2C area is so competitive. Absolutely. Right now. I mean, I heard you guys talking yesterday about, the Gymsharks of the world, just absolutely dominating that area right now. So, yeah, not a lot of positivity. There's a long list of analyst moves here to the downside as well.
Yeah, and it's one of those things. We were talking about the range that Micron was in, and it's like maybe this is a chance yesterday to get out of it. And obviously that didn't happen. So I guess we're headed right back to, maybe not today, but that 85. Like we said yesterday, like I almost wanted it to be bad enough that you could get that back into 85, so there would be a trade on Friday. 'Cause I feel like it would have been really hard to break that level today. That said, can't really be thinking about that 85. Oh, what? Oh, sorry. Yeah, my brain's on Micron, guys. Sorry. Yeah, my brain's all over Micron, but we'll go Nike. I really like the 85 on Micron. No, for Nike, I mean, Sean already said it. It's a flat bottom break on Nike. And I think if you get back to 69, I wouldn't want it. That's sort of the play, because it's almost going to be SSR and down 10%. And it flat bottom broke. Try to say, there weren't any nice things to say about it when we were asked about it last night. But at the end of the day, I think you start to look at VWAP because it's respecting VWAP. Intel did something like this the other day where it was already trending down, so the only play ended up being the volume-weighted average price. It's so far removed from the flat bottom break here that it's hard to look at the short and want to hit some lows. But VWAP is always a good place to start. And, I spoiled my thoughts on Micron because you know I'm buying that thing at 85 if it ever sees there.
85. Oh, 85.
No, we were talking about that yesterday.
Not
like
today.
Micron,
Yeah.
I think it gets there probably in the next week or two, but
Okay, there we go. So there's a call. There we go.
we said that yesterday. It's not a new thing.
No, I'm saying that's good. That's a good call. I like that one. So we'll watch out for Micron in the next couple of weeks. For Nike right now, look, man, it's the number one idea on the sticky note today, but it's already starting. So we're going to probably have to hit this immediately. We're going to have to look at the pre-market low, whatever it is, and see if it holds, and if it doesn't, smash it to the downside. I mean, Nike's been pretty bad for a long time, and it just keeps on getting worse. I feel like this is a kitchen sink quarter. What I mean by that is they've just thrown everything out, and now we'll wait to see if they can beat or exceed their low expectations for this next quarter. I'm not sure they can. This is 68.62. That was the past 52-week low. That's where I'm trying to play off of, but I don't, again, you make the call in the morning at some levels, and it may not come into fruition again. So we were at $67, thinking 69 or that 68.60 level would be something that could we see today. I still think we can. You could get a nice little bounce here. It's not going to be an SSR bounce until we get down to that SSR level, which I guess would be around 64 and change. Once we get down into there, then you could see a bounce. And if that bounce does happen, then I want to short. So, on earnings, we say when there's a gap, you play to VWAP. So right there, $67, I'm thinking is the right play. So I don't know, man. The only long that I have on the sticky note is Tesla. So we'll wait to see what's going on right there. Some people asking me about Palantir on the chat, on my email, on my Twitter today as well. Happy Friday. There it is, Tesla long. Oh, actually, I have Micron long at 98, which we're going to get to in a minute. And then I have the TQ short, and then I have NVIDIA if we get down to 114. But right now, to start the day, it'll be Nike and the market looking long. Looking short, to start the day. And then we'll talk about Micron in a minute. We'll look at long 98, but, my feeling is it's probably already there, yeah. So this will already come in. This is going to be a very, very interesting morning. 20 more minutes until we get some good price movement, but as Neil said, this might be a one where you let the first minute or two settle down, which I've been doing anyways pretty much lately. For Nike, maybe a different story, but for some of these other names, I'm interested to hear why Micron's down. So let's go hear from the boys.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great point. A lot of positivity as far as this report is concerned. The forecast itself, there was portions of the forecast that were a little bit questionable, but otherwise, numbers actually not bad here.
Not bad at all. I'll get to that point in a second, Breno. Yeah. Great point. EPS, how they did on earnings. So the actual current earnings, EPS 156 beating the 143, a handy beat there. Revenue 8.05 billion. Easily beating the 7.9 the street was looking for. With respect to guidance, Q3 EPS guidance at the midpoint, 1.57, above the analyst expectations of 1.52. With respect to revenue guidance, 8.8 billion at the midpoint. That exceeds the 8.5 billion the street was looking for, and that's an increase of 51% year over year. Now let's get to why the stock's actually moving down. So historically, memory stocks have steep revenue cycles with rapid fluctuations in growth. Some investors are concerned about another potential downturn. In other words, it's very cyclical. They do well, and then the demand dries up. Some people are positing, though, that AI-driven demand for high bandwidth memory could create a more sustained growth cycle, and we don't have to do these upswings and downswings in the price.
Yeah, bouncing off lows, or trying to at least right now, guys, for MU. That's a huge reversal, though, for this stock.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, you know what? And the other thing, too, is like Micron also, it just sold where it's been selling since not October, August of last year. Like since the beginning of August, anytime it's gotten to like the 110 area, there's just been, it's like wick selling and then the support at 85. Now what I was getting to with the 85 level is anytime it's traded, because if you look at it, it's traded very briefly under 85 several times since October, but each time it's gone down there, you've then had it close above 85. So if it does that again, where it gets down there and then closes above 85, I don't buy anything in the morning. You know, I'm going to look to buy it at that level because it's just been working. As for today, look, man, I'll do the old knock on wood thing, but it's not getting to that level today. Come on, right? If Micron gets to 85 today, we got bigger fish to fry.
I thought you meant 95. Like when you said 85, I heard 85, but you mentioned. That's what I was thinking.
Well, 95 could happen because 95 is local support on Micron. And when I say local support, I just sort of mean like, you know, closer to where we are right now. You know, it's not today's support or anything like that. But 95 is a bit of a level because it wasn't a bad report. And again, you can go into, look, you can read any report and probably try to explain why it did a move because you can always find something, right? But I'm not going to pretend to have been able to do that with Micron because I couldn't. And I would just say if it gets down into where the prior support has been, this is actually more like 94. Did I write 95 on my iPad? Yeah, I did write 94. Never mind. When I'm saying 95, I think I must have had the 85 in my mind. No, it is 94 that local support is at. It's not impossible that it gets down there on Micron, but this isn't the name I'm looking short in chips. I feel like Intel first. You said we're not going to get a chance to talk about Palantir, but when you mentioned it, I was short Palantir yesterday, and it was just a simple mean reversion play, but there was another thing going on here with, whoops, I just typed PayPal. There was another thing going on with Palantir, and that's every time it's gotten above $88 and the 50-period moving average recently, it's just kind of curled and faded early on in the day. And it did this again. So I feel like if this one presses up, as long as it doesn't break 90, like let it get in there. And if it's above or around that 89 level, look for the mean revert. But that's on the off chance that it actually pops into that range. Like right now, when you sit down, it's at 87. It looks like it could happen. Now it's breaking 86, and maybe you don't get that pop. But this is the name I'm looking for a pop and fade on. But Micron, unless it gets to 94, I don't think I'm doing anything today.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote down just to try to get something there at 98. 98's been the bottom there, and it just, it's going to come through now. So just looking, I'm not even really sure what levels are going to hold here, but this was 98. So it's just amazing that you had that bump up to 110, which was those key levels, and then this happened. It's clear that nobody can figure out why this thing's even down, which makes me worry that, you know, there's obviously is some problems here. Analysts must not have liked that call at all. And if you don't hold this gapped up level there, like this is a gap, right? 98 all the way that day to 102, fading off a little bit back to 99 and then goes. So we need to see this area hold because 98 doesn't hold, then whoops, then there's that 95 level that I was talking about. So this is what I'm thinking, you know, worth the shot, but it's not worth holding for $3 because if it comes into 98, I don't think today it's going to have the juice to get back to 101, which would be that risk to reward 1-to-1. That's kind of the decisions I try to make. We do like a retracement back up to the 200 period. This is just a 5-minute chart. If you're looking at a 1-minute chart, I mean, that's, again, that 101 area. That's where I think you short it. It's just, are we going to get that pop? Look, I don't know why Micron's down. If I'm going to buy, I don't even know that much about DRAM. I'm not going to pretend that I even want to buy Micron. I don't. The only name in this space that I would buy would be, and I looked, I didn't even realize I had AMD. I have AMD in my account. Thankfully, we're long. I mean,
You would have. I had.
I think we're still in the money, like 70% on AMD or something,
Yeah,
which
like
is
10 years
crazy.
ago, it's crazy.
I didn't even realize I had it. I was looking at my portfolio.
I was
last
mad
night.
at myself that I hadn't sold it.
I think I have
the
like
high.
1 or 2%. Oh, I wish I had known I had it because I've been calling this thing
silly.
Dead since 200
Well,
bucks.
I've been saying, and this is one of the things in your long-term plan, just because you buy something a really long time ago and you are up a lot on it, doesn't necessarily mean you want to still be holding it. Because I've done that and looked back and been like, what am I still doing in this?
I don't think anybody got out
or
at
in
the
that?
tops of
No,
anything.
but it's like I don't
No,
even.
I know. I didn't even realize I had it.
Since 2023, everyone's liked NVIDIA more. So why didn't in that much feel like, whatever, I'll just sell AMD at that point because even though it's in the money, and I admit, I want to do a better job of that in my personal account because when you buy things 10, 15 years ago, sometimes something has distinctly changed and you should be selling it. You know, like with the bags, like in the
This is why I'm just want to buy indexes, man, because I already have so many stocks.
I'm heavy index already.
I have Pfizer, I have AMD, I have NVIDIA. I mean, name another stock, Home Depot, Apple. Like, I have these all, Uber, Roblox, Disney.
Do you have a quantum stock, though?
No. I have the best quantum stock of all
Google.
time.
Alphabet. Sorry, Alphabet.
Yeah, so yeah. But I don't have any of these quantum names. Let's go find out about these runners.
Yeah, back downside here a little bit so far this morning. I mean, the overall market is as well. But surprisingly, Jensen comes out yesterday and says, my bad, essentially causing that huge move down in this whole group going back to the beginning of the year where he said nothing is going to come from this. And I mean, let's be honest, it's probably not. It's let's say 5 years. I think 5 years is maybe fair.
Fair. It's a science experiment.
Yeah.
You and I were just talking about this off camera. It's a science experiment until some money starts coming in. All right, NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang corrected his January statement where he doubted quantum computing's viability within 15 years. Yesterday at Quantum Day, he admitted his comments were misinterpreted and drew comparisons, actually, to NVIDIA's early struggles. He was kind of surprised that his remarks actually impacted these quantum stocks and joked about how some quantum firms are being publicly traded. Now, yesterday he did have the GTC Quantum Day. He hosted panels with 12 different quantum computing firms. Microsoft and Amazon did take part. NVIDIA aims, their goal here is to integrate GPUs with quantum chips. They don't want to use them in isolation. And he did announce plans, Brendo, yesterday for a Boston research center to foster collaboration with Harvard and MIT. We'll have to see how that all works out.
Yeah, if you zoom out to the daily chart, we're downside 2 or 3 days in a row here for, this is Rigetti. Back towards some support, though, around $8, guys.
I just looked in the account there. I'll just tell you how bad of an investor I am. I'm still up 62.6% on AMD. Like, that's horrible. Like, that means I was up like 400% or something when it was at 20 bucks, when it was at 220 or whatever it was. I'm just so horrible at most things. All right, so I don't know. Did you have a play on quantum there today?
QBTS, I mean, it's only down 7%, but remember, it was down, I don't know, 21, 22% yesterday, so it is going to be short sell restricted. And yesterday I was looking for the reversion off this 750 area, only because this is where it jammed last week when I was gone. It was right off of that 750. So this would be like a mean reversion. If it gets there, look for the reversion play off of 750. If it just goes down and is trending down and never breaks the trend at 750, then there's just not going to be a trade down there. As far as I did have, and I even put in the note, well, when it was sitting here at about 830, 840, thinking, yeah, I could fade it into like 875 or something, like that high from yesterday. That's now 10% up. And I feel like if there's that big of a move off of the open, Intel's going to come into play and Palantir is probably going to come into play at that 89. So I don't know if that's going to be a thing, but I'll have it on the back burner. I'm just looking at SSR bounce play on these because I feel like when they do, like when a stock like this, when it catches a bit of a bottom, like a wick bottom like that and a trend reverse, it's generally pretty good. Like it did it yesterday into VWAP, and let's say you're getting in right about here, like 970. It eventually gets the VWAP at 1020 and then even breaks it out a little bit. So yeah, that's all I'm looking for on QBTS. And 750, actually that was the level. The first time I looked at it on the daily was because Michael mentioned it in the aftermarket show, and it's just the high from February, like the February high, and it also had a bit of a breakout there last week. So yeah, we'll see what happens there if it gets there.
There's going to be a huge whoosh off the open, maybe. Okay, so I'll look at Rigetti because Neil just looked at QBTS. But yeah, it's the same level. It's 750. It's right here. If it comes in off the open, which it probably will, back into this level, you're going to, again, you have a wick down to 670. But at the end of the day, there's 750, there's 730, 725. Like, I think if you buy 750s, you give it 50 cents. I think that makes a lot of sense on these names. This is not, you don't want to trade the quantum names and just punch out for a 10-cent loss or anything like that. These things have huge moves. Just like this is one candle right there, 920 up to 950, back down to 920 again. Anything could hit at any time. And you just want to try to respect some of the levels that you have. Like yesterday's 200 period moving average, right? We didn't break it at all. Only this one little spot there. Maybe that's when they were, I don't know, on stage. I have no idea. But there was a nice move right there, and it only got back up to pre-market highs before fading out again. So even if you shorted there at 960, you only had to give it 20 cents, and it didn't even hurt you. And then it dropped off of that level, $1.30 or whatever, or buck actually to the bottom. So yeah, there's your 200 period. If you're looking to short pops, that's it there at 860. If you're gonna, again, use the 200 period, you might want to look for another level that might give you some indication. That would, I guess, be $9. So again, I think 40, 50 cents worth of risk there for Rigetti, but this is going the other way right now. It's starting to make a move higher right now. So maybe that 750 is going to be a bottom or $8, something like that. It's bouncing off of 815 right now. Market kind of not bouncing, and Rigetti nicely done there. The other name is IonQ. Should be a big one. It's been up. Look, all these stocks as a percentage have been much higher than where they are now. This one's cut in half, almost two-thirds down there, and this is at a level where you could actually, as Michael was talking about it, if you've back tested, and again, the thing is 200 period on these quantum names, this is such a new space, right? So I don't know if it's actually going to hold this, but nothing wrong with thinking about $20. That's right where the 200 period moving average is, and then you don't want to, not for a day trade, you don't want to give this thing $2, but that bottom's 18. So that also matches with that top that once we broke it, we took off to 55. So I would say, to me, again, dollar cost average till you're broke. But at the end of the day, if you go long here at 20, I think you can safely exit around 17.50, which is a hit, of course, be 15% or so. But that might be worth the risk if you're taking a little bit of risk with some of these quantum plays. So IonQ, the one technically at a level that I think can be supported down there near 17.50, maybe worth a shot there at 20 for the risk trade.
Talk some China ADRs here. Downside for the most part across the board for all of these. Worth noting PDD and NIO both out with earnings reports. PDD not really doing a heck of a lot here. NEO, though, a little bit more active as far as volume goes anyways. This is a $4.50 stock at this point. Both, however, not great.
And NEO's you feel it hasn't really participated in the strength with some of these Chinese names at all.
At all.
Like XPEV's been moving up. We saw BYD. Baba has been breaking out to no end. So it's been good strength in Chinese world, Chinese ADR world, but not for NEO, guys. So fourth quarter net loss unexpectedly widened as higher cost outpaced sales growth after the car maker launched 2 sub-brands last year amid intensifying competition in China as well. Obviously, the net loss widened to about 7.13 billion yuan, equivalent to about almost $1 billion. So keep an eye out on that. The result missed consensus estimates of 4.63 billion yuan loss on revenue of 22.22 billion.
Yeah, even the e-commerce names downside here. Alibaba actually among the worst, 2% right now, guys, almost back to day lows.
Well, all roads lead to 420. And if NEO gets to 420, it's SSR and down 10%. So, but also NEO, we've been saying this for a while, whatever, you can say whatever you want. Somebody else is buying NEO at 4 to 420. So if it gets down there today, why wouldn't you look there for a bit of a bounce? Sometimes you go and you're like, well, what's support and resistance look like? And then other times you're like, well, you just show an example of a chart like this. And yeah, there's a little bit of barcoding in there and it doesn't look like much, but it's a $4 stock. This gets down into 420. I don't think it's asking too much that you could get one of those nice little bounces and maybe get into a 440 or whatever it might be. So NEO, downside, that's the only one of the Chinese names that I looked at today because they reported. And even when it got to 5, we're like, hey, man, the four level's been good. So 4 to 420, it gets down there. Look for a bounce play on NEO. And again, this has nothing to do with like long-term or anything like that. And CCL is out and doing its dance, by the way. They did beat on earnings.
Yeah, I just put it out on Twitter there. If you come over to my Twitter, Carnival adjusted earnings 13 cents beats 2 cents. Sales of 5.81 billion, beating 5.7 billion. But CCL just taking the,
Escalator down.
Not that the ship is sinking, because CCL's been pretty good, but I mean, all of these names just continue to get beat up. So we'll wait to see volume coming in there. Initial move higher, this move now lower. Yeah, just sell Alibaba. I mean, I don't know. If like every other market right now, the MSCI All World is up on the year. The S&P is down. China's up. Brazil's up 19% or something. Joe and I went over this yesterday. We went over a couple of the different markets in the recap show. The U.S. is pretty much the only down market. Canada's hovering around flat for the year. Mexico's up as well. So I just feel that there's going to be some regression and some reverting back to the mean here. And that mean is always looking like the 50-period moving average. That's kind of why I have it up there. So I don't know if we're getting back to 120 or anytime soon, but it would not surprise me at all if we've seen the top right now for Alibaba on just for now. Like 145, DeepSeek, all this is already in. So I don't, we've priced that all in. Those were the moves higher. Now, if AI is a flop, like you're sort of seeing some of these U.S. companies come to the downside, guess whose turn it is next? It's yours, Alibaba. There's that video with a sell early. So again, I feel like today's witching day might be a nothing burger. These are very, very small numbers, right? NVIDIA, 2 million shares. Apple, just 1 million. But look what it's doing to the stock. Whoops, down 60 cents right there on Apple. Intel was the #1 stock yesterday. That was a short. It looks like it's a sell again. Apple, whoops, down to 209 again. Intel, I could just imagine, 23.50. Geez, yesterday we were short at 24.25. That was the big trade of the day yesterday. Broadcom, we had indicated that's also a net sell coming in as well at the end of the day. So, yeah, man, you're starting to get pretty low here. There's Google with a sell. That wicked down to 160 right there. That might give us a bottom to play off of later on, but it's not good. There's Palantir with a sell. Look, this market, what's up to Corey in the chat? He or she is like, I'm not sure why Sean's not going more crazy with this market down. It's because this is what I'm expecting, man. I haven't bought anything in a while. I think this next earnings season is going to be horrendous. I might not dollar cost average anything until JP Morgan reports April 11th. I might just flatten that trade today and wait. I'm getting pretty negative here on the market, so I will not be buying too many of these names. But hey, that might mean I just signaled the bottom.
Yeah, with 3 minutes to go, there are some big imbalances in Toronto, but unless you're trading Toronto off the open, like regularly speaking, you probably want to stay away from them. But if you do see an imbalance on a Toronto stock like a TD or something in New York, just remember it could be the other way in Toronto. That's going to be a big thing. So at the open, as you said just a couple of minutes ago, QBTS, Rigetti, QBTS is actually a sell of 500,000 as well, but it barely even moved, kind of a little bit to the downside. It might have a chance to get up to that 870 to 875 area for that bit of a fade. So with the open, if we do get a pop, there's that. Palantir, I don't know. Palantir is just so far away from that 88 level. I don't know if we get the same break above 88, take the fail break. Yesterday, the trade was just a trail out that we wanted to grab. And of course, we'll be watching some Tesla 230 as well, and Intel at VWAP. But let's go back to the desk.
Yeah, real quick, FedEx just made a new low. I just actually went out on a higher time frame and tried to find the last time this thing was SSR. Got to go 2 quarters back. So not the last earnings, but the one before that. It was 15% after they reported.
A bit of a tougher look today, Brendo. Let's talk about what's going on. So FedEx revised its profit and revenue forecast downward due to persistent soft demand. CFO John Dietrich cited weakness in the U.S. industrial economy as a key challenge. They did adjust their full-year financial forecast, so full-year adjusted profit now expected between $18.60 a share, down from $19 to $20 a share. Revenue as well for the fiscal year ending in May is going to be flat or slightly down, so we'll keep an eye on that. And Q3 adjusted profit is going to be down to $4.51. Now, the reason all this is going on is apparently FedEx and UPS, kind of not surprised by this, are engaged in a fierce market share battle Apple, raising concerns over pricing pressure. Apparently, FedEx ended its air cargo contract with USPS. UPS picked that up, and then FedEx announced its cost-cutting plans of about $2.2 billion, and apparently they're going to pick up 8 new Boeing 777s at a really good price from Boeing.
Can't all be bad.
Nope.
If you're buying or leasing planes, I'm sure they lease them. There it is.
Yep.
SSR right now, guys, for FedEx.
Yeah, I mean, probably won't trade FedEx. I know it's down 10%, but that's not the kind of stock I want to try for an SSR play anyways. But sometimes it's a bellwether for what's going on, and if FedEx is getting hit, it's not usually a good thing for the overall economy, and this sucker is trending down. So there was a bounce in a few names. We only have 30 seconds to go till the open here. There was a little bounce as a few of those imbalances got smaller. NVIDIA just popped up. Couple of bucks. I don't think we'll see 120 there. Gonna have Tesla on the watch, QBTS, Nike, Intel going to be in play. We'll see about it, but this is the triple witching bell to end the week. Adara, so should be wild off the open. Remember, extra volume, extra volatility on an open like this. So ring it in 3, 2, and 1. Let's go.
Should be exciting. All right, so we'll wait to see what winds up happening here earlier on. I'm watching Micron. There it goes. Whoops. Right down there to the downside. We're also going to watch out for Nike as well here early. All right, so Nike actually not open yet. Probably better to wait for that. It just bounced off 65.80. We'll give Nike a chance here as well. Tesla, we'll give them a chance here for Tesla. Charts, there we go. All right, nice move up for Tesla there. So we wrote down Tesla 234 long in the pre-market. We'll have to wait to see if that comes through again. So we'll bid that. That looks like a decent level right there. It just was too early. Oh man, did we nail that 234? Wow. Okay, well, if it comes back, we'll have to take that level again. So 234, that was what we were looking for. We're not in it, obviously, you'd see me in it, but there's a nice little rally off the open. So here we go, man. Nice move higher there for Tesla. The name we wanted long, the price we wrote down was good, but it's a pre-market level. So there it goes, man. Straight up to the upside. Tesla really ramping up. Congratulations there. Tesla flying right now to that upside, man. Wow. Cannot hold this stock down, apparently. Tesla, monster move up to 240. Here we go. Wow. Tesla motoring, man.
This is insane price action.
Yep.
Tesla. It's
and
like,
NVIDIA as well. Nice move to the upside.
Nothing like Tesla.
No. Tesla. I mean, look, we wrote down 234, guys. I mean, it is what it is. But that's that stock is now gone. 118 for NVIDIA just held.
Well, it's easy to see when Tesla's going. It's like, oh, is anything coming into the levels I like for pop and fade? They're not. Like Palantir's nowhere close to the top. Intel's nowhere close to. I mean, it's not even breathing on 24 at this point. So yeah, you're getting a little bit of pop. I wonder if Micron's making its way up. Nope. Micron actually might see this 94, 95 area. It's at 96 already. Micron's falling like a rock.
Okay, we're already $1 in the money right now. We shorted Tesla, so let's wait to see what winds up happening. 240, we're short right now. Big position. Let's just see, man. I got to just breathe a little bit here. There it is. Okay, nice move here to the downside for Tesla. So we're actually just trying to get out of some of this now. Ooh, that was good, man. That just went down.
Still on Micron.
It could still... What's up, Fabian? No problem, my guy. There it is, man. So there's Tesla, man. We just shorted there at 240 twice. Out right there, 238.60, 238.50. It's gonna stop out. If this breaks 240, we are out of that one, and then we'll say, thank God we took a little bit of profit. But there goes Tesla. Oh no. Okay. Well, yeah. If it breaks 240, we're out. So I'm going to get into that. This is looking like, oh my gosh, this is what option expiration is all about, really, right now.
Yeah, this
is like you're seeing tons of movement here, tons of volatility, some little bit of uncertainty on some of the levels, but we're not uncertain about the short right now. It's now $1 in the money as we try to break. Well, it just held 230. There it goes. Now it's more than that, Neil. Now we're $1 and change now as we get down to the downside. So let's see how far we can go there. Volume weighted average price could be a bouncing spot there. 238. Let's put a bid down there. But so far, so good here for Tesla.
Yeah, great look on Tesla. Micron's now through 95 and headed toward that 94. So it's falling like a rock. At the same time, QBTS, I haven't looked at Rigetti, but I'm going to assume it's trying to go green as well. But it's streaking into that 875 area that we're looking for, the curl. So those are the two things I'm watching.
There it goes.
Intel's nowhere close to 24 bucks. So it's 875, looking for a reversion on QBTS, and then Micron as well. So those are the two level twos I'm kind of
What was the low?
I queued in on. Right now it's 94.30.
40s, yeah.
30 or 40. So let me get a stop in first. I always want to have a stop if I'm trading it on a witching day. Have your stop before it gets in there, and then look for this to close at or above this 94 half level, and on the 3-minute bar, hopefully avert some of this move, and then take the first shot. VWAP's at 97, so there's plenty of room to VWAP, but if it can't close above 94 half, I mean, at this point, I don't want to catch that falling knife. Intel's starting to go up, so keep in mind if Intel gets to 24, I want to start working into the long. Don't want to get too early on it. Yeah, now Micron's starting to look like there's a bit of a bid under it.
All right, yeah, we're long Micron. So let's see what winds up happening on that one. So Tesla we actually wind up exactly flat on Tesla, which is too bad because it did have that chance to go. We're just lucky, I don't know, but we were able to get all of these out as it was going absolutely insane right there, up and down, trying to figure out the right price levels for Tesla. Up 2% today with a market that's down 1%. So, when there's blood in the street and everybody's talking so negatively about certain names, maybe there is a case there for Tesla long, right? So here comes Micron straight in. I mean, we talked about being long this name, so we'll wait to see now. Okay, there it goes. It's going to break through 9.
I just got stopped.
Yep, exactly. So stop out over there. I got stopped out on Tesla and about to get stopped out here on a 94 break for Micron. So yeah, the longs today, man.
Oh no, it didn't break 94.
No, it did not. So right now we'll wait to see, but it is resisting that 94 break, as Neil just mentioned. I'm waiting for that level to break.
Oh, I know why.
If it does, then we'll get stopped out. So we're going to try to hold on to this one just a little bit more. Now, of course, Tesla's making that move back in. And I just say, of course, but it's just 5 minutes in. We knew we'd have to get some settling down here in the market. It's too bad that Tesla made the move now, but at the end of the day, that goes up to 240, 150. So our out was pretty fine there. I'm okay with it. We'll just have to wait now to see what's going on. But there goes Tesla, man, back into the downside. We probably should have held on to that. But for right now, it's just Micron. We like the 95 level. It's there and lower right now. So we're in this name. Let's go see. Come on, Micron. Make my day, baby. Let's get back up to the upside now for MU.
Yeah, MU needs to break that 95. It didn't break 94. I threw my stop and said I was stopped out. Looked back at it because I was trying to get into Intel and realized it didn't break. So just a bit of a keystroke error. It just tagged 95 and did an over-under. You can't even see these levels because of how big the wicks are. But it just tagged the prior bar high and came back underneath. So I took some out there at 95. I'm offering 95 quarter. I think VWAP is the target here because we are absolutely trending down. Intel, I was about to pull the trigger, then realized this is what you did yesterday, Neil, which was get into Intel a little bit too early. Either let it confirm that we're losing VWAP or let it get back into the actual highs up there. That's what it's all about on INTC. And patience paid, but I'd rather not start the day red on Intel to try to get green. It's witching day. Allow the first 10, 15 minutes to get in and then worry about it. Micron working so far. NVIDIA is absolutely, everything is, a lot of things are going to the downside right now, but NVIDIA just broke through the lows and is continuing to head to the downside. So I don't wonder if that doesn't mean, you never know, but could that avert the Micron move and bounce a little bit there? It just tagged that 95 quarter. VWAP sits at 96 half. I'm going to take another leg out in front of that and then try to hold for that pre-market low, which would be the next leg up. Micron's not SSR, but the characteristics are still kind of like an SSR bounce.
Yeah, we're fine. We're now flat on the day. Micron is hopefully going to be that name here today for me. So let's wait to see what winds up happening here with Micron. We made back our Tesla losses, but we just got some out. Our best out rate there was 95.34s. So hopefully it can get going just a little bit more than that, and we will be all good on that front. So far, so good. On Micron, so let's wait to see if that bumps. All right, what else are we looking at here, guys? What else is moving around? All right.
SMCI, apparently.
SMCI, okay. I'm
just seeing it in the chat.
Yeah, we could definitely have a look over there at SMCI. All right, so I was just going to check over at NVIDIA quickly, but SMCI, let's have a quick look. The other names I wrote down was, we should probably look at Nike, Tesla 234, that's not coming in, and then the TQQs as well. So yeah, just hearing that NVIDIA is seeing the session lows, and so is Supermicro. Supermicro looks like it wants to bounce off 39. I'm more comfortable, I was going to say I'm obviously more comfortable trading NVIDIA, as you guys see me trading that literally all of the time. So we'll wait to see now. I wrote down 114.50 for NVIDIA. If it gets there, great. But I just, I have a big position on in Micron. So we're going to wait to see what winds up happening here. MU is on my mind right now.
Did you mention Nike's almost 10% now?
No, I wanted to look at it, but I knew it did bounce back to like 68.
Okay, so Nike is also...
Go, Mike.
Nike could get SSR as well, but it's still a flat bottom break. There was no pop yet to try to fade. Gonna go back over and show you. Micron is starting to press the 95 area at least. So I don't want to change the plan, but remember, VWAP is a moving target, so if it holds down here, VWAP moves as well, and I do want to respect the volume-weighted average price. Palantir was another one we thought would pop and fade. It's only heading to the downside. If we continue trend down, I did want to be short this off those highs, but sometimes you just got to look at previous day low or support to turn into resistance at 86. So going to work off a different level on Palantir because the market didn't pop for you to get any kind of a fade in that stock. So still just with Micron and
come on, Mike.
You're saying what's wrong with Tesla. Randy Singh said, what's wrong with Tesla? I don't know. It's like there's no stock that's...
I should be shorted.
It's the only stock that's up right now, but it's actually making its reversion too. I think it's a short thesis, and outside of catching a dead cat bounce, which is what I think Micron is, I'm trying to get into some shorts that we Tesla. Like. So Intel, no short yet. It's so tempting to get in early on this thing. So tempting.
Oh, man. We could have had quite a day here, but unfortunately we had dropped out. Well, we're still up today. We took a big position on Micron, so let's wait to see what winds up happening here. I'm just going to try to sit in this one. Yesterday we traded 3 names. It was a big day. Let's see if we can just trade 2 names. No, we'll trade more than that, but we need Micron to go. I'm waiting in the 30s again. Okay, 25s again. The best we've gotten is 30s, so if right now we're not quite near daily goal, but if we can just get a couple more pennies here up on Micron through 95.50, then we'd be a hell of a lot closer to that. So here we go, Neil. Yes, sir. Big trade alert right now. And again, guys, anyways, you guys know if I'm in a position here early, we should be something that we are trying to let it go. So let's see now if this one can get back up to the upside. There it goes. Okay, good. This is a good trade right now for sure for Micron. Yeah, let's just let it settle down a little bit. Yeah, let's take VWAP out, man. This is now $1 on big boy shares. So here we go, man. There it is, man. We've met our day goal right there on Micron, despite not losing flat on Tesla, but giving up that opportunity on Tesla for sure. All right, Micron, there it is, man. 95 up to 96 bucks. It's a big time winner over here for Micron. So we can't complain at all on that one. So there it is, man. You need a face slapper. I mean, there it is, man. It's 1 times daily goal right there off the open at 940. So we want this to still go higher. We could lose one day in 5 seconds here if this drops back in. So just a nice trade off the open. I think we'll get out one more piece here at 93, and there it is. Now we
96,
could just...
you mean?
Yeah, 95, 93s, but yeah, $96. So right there, we take another piece out. We've still got on a little more than half, despite this move. So I'm gonna take out another piece here before we drop, but so far so good there, man. Big trade alert for Micron. Glad you guys are on it. Glad Neil's on it. Here we go, it's Micron.
Yeah, that 94 level is holding great. At this point, it got to VWAP. I'm trailing it out underneath the first green bar, which is right here. So either it breaks 94.7, I'm out of 75%. So I'm looking for VWAP break, get into the pre-market highs or lows, and then gonna give it a trail. Just let it try to breathe and see how far I can go. Tesla, not really. Tesla's continuing to head to the upside there. CCL, by the way, Carnival caught a bid off the $20 level, and now it's starting to ride VWAP. If this just starts making a trend down, it's usually a trend joiner on earnings day with CCL. But I'm gonna go back to where we're trying to be patient. Intel, it's going up. It's just not near 24 yet. So again, preaching a little bit of patience with this because it took a while to revert it. It wasn't until about 9:50 yesterday in the morning that it really made its high. So I don't mind waiting another 5 or 10 minutes to try to short this thing. I feel like that's the prudent way to go. Only been in Micron so far. Palantir's not giving us anything. NVIDIA, I mean, it's still in the bottom end of the range, so NVIDIA's not looking all that strong. Yeah. I don't know why Tesla is so strong today, but I guess maybe that all hands-on-deck meeting was causing a spike in the stock. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it was the long that we wanted. Missed it. Went short, flat. Oh, well. All right, man. Out of some more Micron up there near that top. It is fading out just a little bit, but we're going to try to find something else. We had written down TQs here that we wanted to get 61s, but that's not right now. Despite that move higher right now, we're still well off of that. Again, you know, it's different when you're writing these levels out at 830 and the levels at $61. But for right now, nice little drop in on the TQQs. That name trying to figure itself out. And of course, that is just the market. All right, so Intel, let's have a quick look over here. Nice move up into the 200 period moving average. That could be a short, right? Nothing wrong with that. If we get that again, 2380, you're not too far away from 2380 right now on Intel. That could be definitely a play that gets me a little interested right there. 24 is more the level, but it's getting there. It is definitely getting there. Amazon was another level that we looked at. We wanted to look at Tesla, Micron, TQs, NVIDIA, and Nike. We did hear that NVIDIA was near lows. I'm sure that that's not the case anymore. Well, actually, pretty good. Still 115.50 there, the drop-off spot right there for NVIDIA. All right, Micron's come back in. We're going to have to watch out for this now. So we actually only now have a third, a little bit more than a third, about 40%, I would say. I was going to say 35%, but that's close to a third. And this could come back into this level. I'm going to wait for 94.50 again, just in case it does come back in. And yeah, you know, we did take advantage of that early move, but if the market does fade out, they're not going to love Micron. So we'll wait to see what happens, but a little bit of a reload down at 94.50 is going to be the spot for me. Really glad that we were able to take all of that, not all of it, but the majority of it out there at 96, making for a decent move. Right now, I still want to look for Tesla maybe pulling back in a little bit, especially if this market is roughly near the highs. I don't know. I mean, 242.50 or so for Tesla. We've been up here before these levels, so we could see that right into here. That was the high just on the 19th, so 2 days ago. We hit this 242 area and then fell pretty dramatically. So 242.50 or so as the high. We can wait to see if you want to play off that a bit. What's up, Adara?
On GM here, this is General Motors. Apparently, the Secret Service Agency is announcing that its director met with executives from GM to discuss next-generation armored SUVs. So apparently, some armored SUV talks occurring here between General Motors and the Secret Service guys. So let's keep an eye on OUST. This company is called Ouster Inc. This is nary a red candle to be seen here in this one today. A day one earnings play for a smaller cap company with about a $500 million market cap and a 10% short float. Back to you.
Whole thing.
Just for all you real traders out there,
shots.
have a look at the Toronto banks at the open, because there were some opportunities on a witching day that were very, very, very clean to the upside. I was just looking at a couple of them. Like Intel, I'm trying to preach that patience with it, and now I've just hit enter way too fast because I was still on Toronto. So the market's starting to come back up. So if you were looking for fading some pops, this is, I think, that moment as the NASDAQ's trying to get higher. We're still down 1% overall, but I'm now sitting 24.05 because that's where the local high was in the afternoon. I think if we get any kind of a pop, we'll get our short in that name. Micron, I'd love to see us tag VWAP again.
Oh, baby.
It's really trying to go. I think you've made a bottom here in Micron. It's just a matter of how far the market's going to let this one go. Hit enter twice. So it's made a nice hold. The higher low is held. I still think you need to break this out at the 96 level. And I got to go over to QPTS, the quantum names that we're watching. That's trending right back into that high, that 875. It didn't hold it the first time, but now you're working on a little bit of a trend break off of the open on QBT, on D-Wave, let's just say, because I might mix that up in QBTS and QUBT. But it's trying to make a bit of a trend break here off that 875 high. Again, it is racing to the upside, and it's SSR as well, despite being flat on the day. It was down 22% yesterday. So it needs to break for real this trend line, and then I can look for a short, or we wait for Intel, which is now getting very, very close to our 24.
Yeah, 24 was the level that we were looking at for sure.
It's going to get there.
Look, man, we've got a big position on Micron, and we just took some more out there in the 60s. So I'm just going to try to let this one settle down and see if we can't get a little more love here for MU. Get back up into, I mean, the next offer I have is 96.24. But now that we just had this move higher right here, there it is. Let's go. Come on, Micron. The only problem was we didn't buy the dip at 95. We waited for 94.50, thinking that this was going to be one of those downside moves. Palantir at all-time highs, at days high right now as well. DraftKings, you know, $38, that name going as well. But you know what, man, I'm just like laser focused right now on Micron. Nice move higher here. Where can we go? That VWAP 96.70, we'd like to get to that level if possible. That would be sort of the next little area. As I said, 96.25 is where I'm waiting for a out, and we'll see if that can come through one more time for us. But yeah, one more time. You sing it, Randy, as we get going. Man, we are having a great day. This is probably one of the best mornings I've had all week, but it's just one stock. It's Micron. Look at your Tesla right here. Boom, to the upside right now goes Tesla. And this is the story with the stock market, man. It's like the minute you think everything is dead, it wakes its ass up. Nice move there for Tesla. Again, they had that meeting yesterday. Elon tried to calm everybody. There it goes. We tried the short. It was a winner until it wasn't. Flat right now on Elon and company here today. But we're just really making our day right now with Micron, Randy. It only takes one trade, and that's exactly what we've done here with MU. Let's see if we can get back up to the upside. Micron, not yet, man. Let's wait to see what winds up happening with that one. But thanks, Randy. As we keep on going upside now, $96. We're focused, man.
Yeah, it's going to break this 96 any second now. I see you in the chat. TP, GME it's up, but it's not a rocket. But we'll get to that a little bit later when things calm down. I actually think the chart looks really good on GameStop for the next couple of weeks. I know it's a crazy thing to say, but it's not nonsense. Another tap of the $96 level. Now, I started red with a keystroke on Micron, so it's frustrating, but you just got to jump right back in. I say this every single time. If you ever accidentally get in, get out. If you ever accidentally get out, get in. It's just that simple as a trader. You don't want to let a trade go. I just misplaced the stop order. Now I want to see us hold the trend because we've double tapped VWAP. If we break a trend line, we get out. You know what? Intel is not breaking the highs. I'm sitting here waiting for 24, but the longer this is resisting the move, I think we got to be a little bit more patient. And Los Pollos Hermanos, Palantir is almost green. But my play on Palantir, it's rocketing up. My note was, look at the 50 period on the daily and what's been happening every time it breaks the 50 period. It's just wicking that top. So I'm looking for a mean reversion play on a break of 88, which is exactly the trade from yesterday. Like, let it break and then look for the trend reverse on Palantir. That's the trade I want on Palantir today, because I didn't think we'd get down to like the 80 level or anything like that. So I'm just waiting for it to get up there to revert it. That's what's been working, is sort of shorting those early day moves on a lot of stocks. I don't see a reason to get away from that today.
Big ups to any Canadian tickers. Yeah, let us know if there's anything you want us to look at. We could definitely do that. Come on, Micron. We just need to get this. 96.24 we're sitting at right here. This is going to be a, oh man, like the swings on the net here are pretty dramatic at some points here. It went to 96.20. Come on, man. We are just 4 pennies away from getting our fill there ahead of 90. Okay. See, when that ever happens to me, I'm just like, okay, you know what? Let's get out of 5% here instead. If it breaks above 96 one more time, I'd hate to have missed that by 4 pennies. Looks like we may have done that. That's too bad. Right there, look, 96.20, 22s maybe even. It went to right there. What? Oh, I'm waiting at 05 now? Okay, well, it just went to 04. So, all right, let's wait to see if we can get something out there, man. Tesla just continues to work higher as well. That name is Gonzo right now, up to 243. Good level there, good name, good long for anybody that had that. Oh, we did. Oh, no, we just did not get our Micron. I thought we did there, but we did not. All right, what else going on? Bitcoin down to 84,000. I say down to it, but I actually didn't look today. What is, no, I know it's 84, but exactly. What did we start out at right there? Okay, so it's been actually a nice morning. That's what I was trying to say. I wasn't sure if it was up or down, but there goes crypto right now. Well, at least there goes IBIT anyways. Looking at a bigger chart here for IBIT. Oh, that turnaround there on Micron. Just missing by 2 cents right there, getting a piece out. Now it's probably going to tank. That happens to me all the time. 47.80 there is the 50-period moving average for IBIT. pretty choppy at these levels. I think we will stay away from IBIT. So, yeah, 47.70. We'll wait to see if there's some directional play and hope that Micron can come back upside. What's up, Adara?
This part of the show is brought to you by VinFast. VinFast, the Vietnamese EV powerhouse, opened its new Green Series for orders earlier this week in Vietnam. The lineup features 4 models: mini car, ASUV, CSUV, SUV, and MPV, designed to enhance transport services and drive Vietnam's green mobility. The Green Series made a huge splash in Vietnam's auto market, racking up 45,813 pre-orders in just 72 hours, all confirmed with no cancellations. This unprecedented milestone not only sets a new record in the nation's automotive history, but it also highlights strong demand for VinFast green EVs among both individual buyers and service businesses. So far in January and February 2025, VinFast delivered over 22,500 EVs in the Vietnam market alone, already exceeding what they delivered in Q1 of 2024. Back to you.
Yeah, look, we probably should have. Well, we probably should have got into Intel, but like I said, we're going to be patient with it. Micron just held trend almost exactly. Here, I've drawn it on my black chart, so I don't have to worry about it. Like, it'll just be sitting there. Because for you guys, I'll flip back and forth, but I have the same stocks up when I stare up. So if we break this trend line on the 3-minute, I'm jumping out. Right now, that's going to be like 95.25, and then we let this one, and I want to let that ride. So it's either I want to look at Tesla, but the eyeballs are on Intel and on Palantir, because those are the 2 screamers that we wanted to fade into. And Palantir is almost at that 88 level. It's been breaks of 88 that have been fades on this stock. So again, appreciate a little bit of patience. Tesla, I don't have any levels up here until it gets to 252, actually. 250 to 252 on Tesla. If you had that on your bingo card today, congratulations. On a Friday, a 250 level, yeah, whatever, man. That's a fade up there. If it gets to 250, I'm looking short on Tesla. I didn't think that'd be remotely a thought today, but it is now.
Yeah. I mean, we were looking long on the name, but yeah, 250 would be real nice, like, if it can get up to there. We did get...
You got at least 234. I wanted 230.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. On a witching day, we don't know. I mean, $4 is actually not even that much.
Not even that much.
All right, so there it is. Finally, we get a little bit. We got some there at 02s, but we just got out of 5%. Oh, is my Stream Deck not working? I think it was. Did it just say bang there? No. Okay. Oh, it's down. Okay, Stream Deck is down. Okay.
Oh, shoot. No, it's not.
No, now it should work. Yeah, she just, Ramin was doing something over there, so thanks, Ramin, for that. All right, man, Micron, we just got 96. Let's go over some more things here to see what's going on. Elon and company, 243, Neil just talked about that, so we'll puff pass on that for now. All right, TQs, we were looking for the short. We could short VWAP. That's something that I am deciding right now because we're at VWAP. I mean, we're above on the TQs, but on the NASDAQ right here, VWAP's coming into play right now. That's 19,740. So there is a potential play there up to 60.50, which is the 200 period. So this could be a good wick top fade right now on the NASDAQ. I mean, now we've settled out, man. We knew that there was going to be big volume off the open. That is what happened. Now the market's trying to figure itself out. So with that being said, I'm going to put another 5% out right there at 80. So we get that now on Micron. And I am debating. I mean, Adam, I don't know, or anybody there in the chat that trades like me basically is, what are you guys thinking about the futures right now? Or anybody in the chat there that trades the futures? Because I don't know. It's at VWAP. I am thinking a little bit of a downside play. This is what the TQs look like, the Qs look like on a 30-minute chart. The trend is still here. We're still underneath that 484. It's just we knew that today was going to be a little volatile. Nothing wrong with sitting on your hands, like we had mentioned there. We are now. If we close out our Micron position right now, then we get our daily goal. But then I'd have nothing rest to do rest of the day. So I'm going to slow down a little bit here. We just did get a piece off on Micron. I'm actually going to take another piece right now at 75s. So there it is. And then now we'll just wait for that 96.25 level. Hopefully that can come in. All right, Adrian says long off double bottom, waiting for yesterday's close at 60. Yeah, so 61.50. I mean, great minds right there. We wrote down on our sticky note right there, 61.50. So, we can look at Carnival. I mean, TQs. So we'll wait. So Nike short, we'll look at that. Micron long 98, that never came in, so we picked 95, and that's going to be the trade of the day. Tesla right there, 234. that was perfect. That's now $10 in the money, and we should have actually had that one. And be patient for NVIDIA down there at 114 is what I'm talking about. But there's that Tesla, man. It's just too bad that it hit in the pre-market, and on it. Normally, I would have taken it down here for sure. But there's 234, by the way, and that's what we had written down. But the thing is that when we're talking about quad witching, it's just going to be hindsight at the end of the day, because I wasn't going to take that anyways. You know, even when we were short here, I was like, oh my God, like, what is the price? What is the price? So I could just imagine down here, if it was fumbling, we would have definitely taken the long, but it never got that opportunity. It just went all the way to the upside. So for me, it was wrong on Tesla because we went short, but thankfully we lost a latte and made about 100 lattes right here on Micron. So that's the difference with me today. It's a big trade alert, but it's on Micron, and it was really smart getting out of Tesla. That's basically all that I can say out there. I'm thinking right now, maybe we've slowed down a little bit, but look at the market. The market just popped through VWAP. So are we waiting for VWAP at 240, or are we going short against 244?
I just trailed out of Micron, but also Intel's about to break trend, so I'm finally going to get into Intel. But we trailed out when when Micron broke trend, just trailed out at 95.40-ish. The trigger was at like 45, so probably about 40 is where the fill happened. But Intel finally looking like it's going to fail the highs, so it didn't go green at any point. 92, 93, 96, 23.96 was yesterday's close, and it does not go green. So a good spot for a reversion play. Just need to see it close under. You know what? I'm going to nibble. We'll nibble 80s. Why am I still at 24.06? You get that bad habit of like, you really want a price and you just sort of leave it in there. Well, it's not going there. So until the stop, if it goes green, I'm out, but I'm going to look to get into the short into the 80s on that. And then Palantir is the other one I want short. And it's right at that 88 level, pretty strong trend to the upside. If this breaks trend, those are the two things that I want to jump into. Maybe Micron double bottoms at 94. If it does, we'll take a shot. But one of these two shorts is what we're looking at right now.
We just shorted the market. We just took 20 handles, but we only got out of a piece. So let's wait to see. I'm going to go short into this, guys. I'm just going to play off the 200 period like we've been doing. So if we can get back up to 60-40 on the TQs, then we'll do that. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I mean, I do understand that I do have Micron as well. These both could go one way or the other, but we just take a little piece out right there. And then I'm going to try to go a little shorter, obviously, on the upside if we can get anything into 60-35s. 60-40s was the top right there. So we'll see if we can get a play off on that one. And then I am going to get a little bit more out on Micron now that we can get this pop through 95.40s. There it is, man. So we just get another piece out of Micron there. We'll go short the market, but that one will have to wait. So Micron working. We're getting more and more pieces out. It's a good thing we got out up there again on Micron. But here we go, man. The futures, it's trying to come back in again. Let's take 15 handles for another 10% if we get $60, and then we'll wait to see if we can reload. Here it comes. Give me it, give me it, give me it. Yes, sir. There it is, man. Well, let's go bearish on the market a little bit right here. And there it is. We put it on again, Neil. So here we go, man. Let's see if we can go 2 for 2 on our trades right now today. It's been a good day so far here. We'll just see if we can make it even that much better with a couple wins here on the futures. You want to do happening later or happening now?
Happening now?
Okay. All right, then let's do it. Let's go over to Adara and do happening now.
It is now.
After a pretty vicious sell-off yesterday, we have the S&P 500 once again here down about 1% to the downside. NASDAQ here down about 0.85%. We do have here a little bit of Fed speak on watch this morning, comments from Feds Williams and Goolsbee, but no other major pieces of economic data to watch out for. However, we do have Donald Trump and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth making an announcement here at 11 a.m., so keep an eye on LMT and BA. We're looking for some defense contract news to come out here. Here is FedEx, one of our earnings plays from today. Strong actual numbers here, but guidance a little bit more mixed here, or they not even provided for EPS guidance, their revenue guidance. They do expect a year-over-year decline for FDX. Here's MSGR. This showing here kind of a nice start to the day for Bitcoin and these crypto stocks. Now, though, giving up some of that move. Last but not least, your Tesla on watch. Another name that started off in a really promising way, but bleeding a little bit here. TSLA had an all-hands meeting last night led by CEO Elon Musk, who urged stockholders to hold on to their shares. So lots of tickers to watch out for. Again, no big economic data, but keep an eye on any of these defense plays at 11 a.m. Back to you.
Elon says, hold on to your shares, and the stock goes up. I remember when he said Tesla stock was overvalued, and it was like the easiest short ever because everyone just punched short. But Palantir got in a couple of times here. Well, first of all, we were able to get 87.40, and then it wicked again this prior bar at 87.5, grabbed some 60s up there, but it's not breaking the pre-market highs at 87.20. So as long as it's in that range, going to scalp the range. We're into Intel short as well as, by the way, Tesla's bouncing off VWAP for anyone who's interested. But Intel could break that 94.24. If we break out, then we're going to jump out of this trade. Feel like we're at least a little bit more patient with it this time, but we're able to catch it. This time I'm actually not in it too big. I never was able to add to it because it has not made any lower highs. But if we break out above 24, it closed at 96. I'll jump out. Remember, it was 24.25 that was the high, and then the local tops for like 24.5. So this is one that I want to take multiple shots at, but it's more about managing the risk on this. Because last time I lost what I would want to try to make on a full day on the first up move, which is nonsensical. This time we're not doing that. Oh, and the other play, like I said, Palantir coming back in, so that's okay. And Micron, we might get a double bottom on it. It's still holding those lows. It's a higher low for now. I trailed out when it broke trend. I'd still like to get a shot at this double bottom at 94. That's the support level on that 15-minute chart. Going back here, 94. So if it gets down there again, I don't see why we don't take another crack at Micron for the long.
Yeah, we're waiting for 94.50s. All right. I mean, we're out of half of the TQs. I mean, we got a great fill down there at 70 or 80, 77. I don't know what it was. Down there at the, well, I can check, but it looks like 78s. Down there at the 50-period moving average. So right now it's back to where we are. We've been taking out of some Micron. These are the only two trades we do have on board right now. Intel is popping off a little bit there, up to 24 bucks as it continues to go higher. I know Neil's in that one, so watch out there. And then Amazon was another look for me. Come on, TQs. You guys know I'm only going to go here. If we break above this 60-60 area, actually, I put down 60-80, but now that I see this retracement back, let's go to 60-60. 60-61, stop out. I'm going to get more, but we have to get more. Oh, we just got a little bit more there. Okay, I was going to think about getting a little bit more, a little bit higher, but we'll take advantage of that. We'll reload. That's actually not a reload. That's the same. It is a reload, but it's just a little bit higher than where we were. It's just trying to get into a more of a complete position. We still don't have it, but Neil, there it is again. Another one there. The TQs, the futures have been the #1 P&L name for this show now for a very, very long time because we've just gone over there and it's just very calm trading. Because some days we'll go long, Tesla lose. I get Tesla and NVIDIA are probably the #1 P&L names, but I feel like as far as the success rate for me, the TQs has been probably the most successful. So really glad that we're trading the futures with everybody now. Another piece out right there as we get a little bit lower. So there we go, buy some more there at 02s. Again, just taking 15 handles. If we can scalp out right now, I mean, look what the futures are doing. Right? Not much. So right now we'll scalp out. And again, different styles for everybody, as we always say. So I have to really monitor these trades. Using a little bit more shares, have to be careful with what we're doing. That's why I'm not reloading Micron until we get a lot lower. I don't love those trades. What I've noticed with my own trading is that if I'm going to continue to use these kind of share sizes, it's not really worth diddling in the middle. Smaller stuff, fine. But like, if I'm going to be in something, I'm going to try to actually be in it. So I'm waiting for Micron to go. We were really patient with that. We're able to double top, see a whole bunch of times up there at 96. We were waiting for VWAP. Our best out was 96.24. We missed that by 2 pennies when it was up there. And now we're paying the piper a little bit. But our net isn't changing. Our net's actually going up because we've slipped into the futures now. So let's wait to see. If this can come back into the 50 period, we'll cover some more. That's 85 is VWAP, so we'll cover a little bit more down there. If we can get that, then we'll put another order back down at 80, cover another 10% there.
Oh, there's a flush.
And then hopefully we get that flush in now. So here comes the NASDAQ. Hopefully it flushes. Right now it's not doing too much. But Micron may be the flush there, yeah.
Oh, well, I don't know. I just saw a little bit of a bid drop on Tesla and Palantir at the same time. So you make the assumption, if I see a couple of big stocks drop the bid, then I'm thinking that we probably had a drop on the futures as well, because we just took 87s on Palantir. Palantir just took 87s. Now I want to look for the reload. You got the wick highs, you're starting to make those lower highs come in there. All right, Micron is not, it's still at 95. I don't know if we're going to get that 94. So while we're being a little bit patient, Nike is only trending up. So we were joking around saying there's no chance it will get back into 69. It's above VWAP. It's not impossible now. I want to keep that one in mind. That would be a gap fill for Nike, I think, providing you with a little bit of an entry. But I want to be sort of focused on, like Palantir, I think you can get to VWAP, but it's still in the accumulation phase. So as long as it plays this range, I want to try to reload in front of 88 and then scalp inside the 87 to 88 range, hold the rest until VWAP. Normal special just said gold is tanking. Really, GLD taking it on the chin. I mean, that not something we usually trade, but worth noting for sure. You want to keep an eye on the VIX usually as well. Yeah, if there's anything else that you guys have been watching that we're not covering, I know CCL reported. My focus is on Micron, Intel, and Palantir right now. Carnival still not doing a heck of a lot. There was an initial pop and then a fade.
Oh boy.
And now it's doing absolutely nothing. So hold on to your butts, hold on to your shorts at least for the time being.
Yeah, that is for sure.
And then maybe it'll be your lucky day.
Potentially could be your lucky day, man. Luck of the Irish there. We already
I just saw that.
We already missed that one. What was the lucky day reference about?
No, it was on the screen as I was saying that.
Shout out to Trade Ideas there. Go grab that. Cool. All right, so here goes the TQs, man. Downside now, down 3%. And there it goes, man. We're just trying to be, trying to make plays that we believe in and trying to make plays that we can, talk about, give you guys key levels. There it goes. Huge trade alert there for the futures, right? Glad that some of you are on that. Now it's 40, 50 handles in the money. We basically played off that. We tried to crowdsource some of this. You guys liked the trade. Oh, I don't know if you did or not. Some of you talking about 61.50 there. All right, I'm going to get out some more now on Micron. Just because we're getting some more 95s, man. I mean, we're taking 50 cents on it. What are we supposed to do? We are really now, resting on this trade right now. So the futures are coming back in. We'll take another bid here at 75, and maybe it's stopping in and around this level. I mean, I'd be fine if Micron went. There it goes. Be fine if Micron goes back up to the upside. 59.40, 59.20 right here on the futures could be that trade. So we'll wait to see if it does come in. I'm going to put my next bid there. 59. Let's put a bid at 59.40s. We'll go 59.44. We'll put a bid right there and see if that comes through. Micron with a nice pop-up right there as well as we continue to go. So, yeah, I mean, same thing as usual, right? Yesterday was a big day over here. We did what we wanted to do. We made the trades. It was a big, successful day. Now today, we're only in 3 names so far. Tesla, which we're flat, completely flat on Tesla. Again, I wish this would have just, like, if we got some 38 fills there, it would have negated then and we would have been up. But our best fill on Tesla was 38.74. We were waiting down here for VWAP to get this 38, didn't come through. Now you're seeing Tesla make that move lower, so that's too bad. And we even talked about shorting up there, but that was risky for sure. So I'm not going to be too upset about that one. But I'm really, really happy that we got reloaded there in the futures. I hope a lot of you are okay today, but it's been a big day. So I don't know what else to do or what else to talk about right here. But there it is, man, 95.30. We just take advantage of that bump up in Micron as well. So, yeah, that's all that I'm doing, man. I'm just going to sit here. Neil, man, we're 53 handles now in the money on this futures trade. So, I don't know, man. So far, so good. Let's just continue to hold that. I might not even reload Micron right now down there. We'll wait to see what winds up happening.
The market's a little weak for I'm not even thinking I like.
Yeah, man. I mean, the market's weak. Yeah, we're 60 handles in, but
I can't think of a long that I like.
Yeah, I could probably think of okay.
Yeah.
We have to look for them. So there's Micron, 94. I will buy some more, but I'm gonna wait for 94.20. The thing is, guys, we have about 15% left of this trade. So we're gonna try to hold out for some hope here that we go a lot higher than this. We're at our day's high right now, so everything is good on this side right now, and we'll just watch out. The futures might bounce.
It's trending down.
Oh yeah, well,
but
go short.
Intel was the only thing that went against. Obviously, Micron worked clean, and then Palantir for now was working clean. But Intel did go up. It didn't break 24. It's now again trying to close, breaking the trend line. Like we nibbled in, but it didn't actually close under the trend line. It just ended up holding it. So I'd like to see it close under. Then that's going to be the place to add. That's what I want to see. Palantir, same story. I mean, I'm not going to tell you anything new on Palantir. It didn't revisit the highs after we covered some. So it hasn't gone back to that 87.5 area, 87.6. If we get that, great. If we don't have to fight it. I see people saying SMCI looks good. And you're right. SMCI with the upgrade and up 3%. But it's kind of it's not an inside day today, but this hasn't busted through yesterday's sell zone, which was like 40.5 or so. So I'm not even completely convinced this is not something that can be faded either. It wasn't on my list of things to look for the long side. I'm probably going to stay away from it. Micron actually looks okay and maybe could bust a little bit of VWAP. But I'm looking for reload on Palantir. Still want to be hunting for that bottom potentially on Micron, but it's now looking like it doesn't want to see that 94 at all. It's like at some point, if the market makes a fresh low, then I don't know how much I'm going to like that reload. And if you don't get 94, you have to try to find another price. So again, teaching patience, haven't had a loss yet, but Intel's the one that would be under pressure, I think, at this moment. Because again, it didn't break trend. So no add unless it actually breaks the trend line. On Intel, Tesla's not really sitting up for anything. And NVIDIA is, I want to call it a snooze fest, but you could just be shorting VWAP off NVIDIA. To be honest with you.
So I know you said you were really light on Intel. What kind of position sizing were you using today based on rebalancing and stuff like that early on?
I have 1/3 of what I had at Intel yesterday.
Okay, so you're dropping your shares there. Yeah, but what about the other stocks? Like what was the share?
Normal on everything.
We don't release it. Normal. Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Normal
okay,
on everything else. But no, but Intel was purposefully because remember on Intel yesterday, like Intel yesterday just screamed up for 30 minutes or 25 minutes or whatever it was. And I was long it 3 times on this. And then eventually this was good and that was good. And so we got it back, but I didn't want to be in that position again. I want to make sure that if I get a chance to go all in, it'd be something like this instead of what's blasting to the upside. So it hasn't really given you that hump and then a lower high or a break of trend to get into. So I'm waiting for that moment. And it may never come. There might never be a moment that I think it's going to be an ad here on Intel.
Am I allowed to get out of it? Yeah. Okay.
AT&T.
No, they just wanted me to get into something here because they were testing something. So I punched short in AT&T just because AT&T does not move. So right there. So there we go. I'll punch in and I'll punch
I was going to say AT&T doesn't move at all.
Yep, there it is. So we are in and out of that one. All right, man. You're welcome. Ramin, for you, absolutely anything. All right. So there it goes. We did it again. So let's go. Right there. Good movement here for Micron. We waited for it. We got a 50 fill right there. And then that last fill was a wick high. I don't know what we were doing sitting there at 86, but it just came in at 86. I just went random there. So, sometimes we'll bitch about missing some of those high prints, but that one right there, we'll say thank you, market gods, because we were just waiting for somewhere near 96. Comes up, fills us at 86, and there it goes. Nice play there for us on that one. So, yeah, just ignore that Micron position. That was just literally they're testing something on AT&T. Sorry, don't ignore the Micron position. That's going to be P&L number 1 by 100x today. But, yeah, for right now, we'll just wait to see what's going on with this market, right? We keep on talking about, fade plays, reversion plays, dip buying opportunities. Let's just be calm down and see where the next trade is. We did get out of our TQ trade, not out of it all, obviously, but out of the last piece there when it went to VWAP, breaking through 80 right there. My next reload is right here. If we get up to the 200 period, then it's all good, baby, because we will take that fill if it does come in one more time. That's about it for me, man. Palantir, I know Neil's on that name, but I'm going to still look at it as Palantir's been a great trade for a very long time. Palantir right now, yeah, short 87.50, great call on that one, as that's the high there. That would have been a load up position for sure. All right, so good trade over there.
Out of Intel now.
Out of Intel, nice.
Intel broke, I don't put stops at even dollar levels, so it broke 24 and I got out 24.03. So Intel's gonna do its thing, but the difference yesterday was I'd be down 3 times what I made on Micron in a similar, if I did what I did yesterday. So I just try to keep it a little bit more in the pocket because I anticipate if it gets up to 24.25, 24.50, anywhere in that range, I'm getting in again. It's just been too consistent of a stock when you get that fade eventually. So we'll be patient with it. Tesla might be something, but Again, just going to stick to the names that we're watching. Palantir, still not, it's not giving you the reload up top, but I'm still targeting VWAP in here. There was buyers at 86.5 anyways in yesterday's trade. So if you were shorting Palantir yesterday, you were covering it at 86.5, and now it's, some people call it a bull flag. I wouldn't call it that because it's kind of trending down, but it's still like a kind of a bullish move up, and whatever label you want to give it, I want to respect that move to the upside. Get out, take our buck, change if it gets into VWAP, and still be waiting for that reload. I see a lot of people putting in GME and RNAS, and all I'm going to say about GameStop is I'm actually considering swinging this after what I saw on the daily chart for GME. And I was telling this to Sean. The last time it bounced off 21 bucks, it was just a slow grind holding this 20 to 21 area, and then eventually accelerated into 32, just lulling everybody to sleep, and then boom, just kept on going. And it's doing the same thing. So if this can break out the 200 period moving average again, kind of thinking I'd want to take a shot in GameStop, because then you could have it 25, 26 with a 21 stop, and that's only like 20%. And if you can risk on a swing 20% on GameStop, I mean, that's really not the end of the world. So anyways, that's not a day trade. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, Micron just went to 96 again, so that was a good play for sure. Like I said, man, we're at the highest spot today. It's been just another good day. I hope everyone's enjoying themselves. All right, let's go over to RGTI again right here. So we'll go over to Rigetti. That name today, you know, we were all looking long or short, and we didn't call too many long prices there. Like
750 was the only.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we were looking short early. That was completely wrong. And right now, Rigetti up to $9. So we'll have to wait to see where that one goes. Down still 1.6%, but a nice day for sure for RGTI. I mean, you're definitely going to be happy with the rebound right there in that one. I am not. Those of you, I don't know if you're wondering or not, but I'm just thinking out loud to myself. I'm not going to reload the TQs right at this level. I have that 200 period waiting to go. If that comes through, then that's fine. $60.35. QBTS, the same kind of thing. Probably a short right here at 880. Like, this is what I look at when I'm looking at these levels, trying to find out where the risk is. And right now, like these tops, they're giving the trade to you. So yeah, that looks pretty good to me. Here's the TQ area. Oops, this is TQs. I don't know why the chart didn't switch. Right there. So you know what? That's 27s. I mean, if we can get, all right, we'll sit there with bats or something like that, see if we can get this price. Right there. Okay, so here we go. We will now see what's going on with this trade. I, again, like the idea of shorting, but trying to get a little more shares there. Now I'm going to change this to 60-50 if we blast even higher through that. Again, we just don't want to give everything back on one bad call, because that's what can happen, right? We talk about share sizes and things like that, and if you're trading a little high, you don't need, not high as in like, you know, puff, puff, pass, but I don't think you should trade that way, although
I would hope not. Oh, unless
I don't know. I think
unless that's regular for you.
Right, I was going to say, like, depending on like what you're doing,
Harvin,
maybe we'll let you trade more shares or something like that if you were there. But yeah, don't do anything inebriated, I would say, especially if you have money on the line. I think that's definitely good advice right there. So, all right, we did short. So what I was saying about the Qs is, I just, you know, you don't want to put on, like, if you were just short 10 contracts there, and all of a sudden you put on in like another 20 or 30, and then it starts to go up, it could just move 10 or 15 handles against you, and you've wiped out your whole 60 or 70 handle move because you've averaged in, and you averaged in more. You put on more risk there. So we're not going to do that, but more life as we continue to go to the downside right now in the TQs. We should have shorted that level, so we're there now to wait to see, and oh boy, was that a good out for us on Micron. Again, 86s and 96 flat up there for an out on MU. We're still here, man. We're still basically at the highest spot we've been at all day, but here comes the futures. We are waiting again, rate upside. Oh, my order log is not sorted by alphabetically there. 60-36s and 60-23s. So there it is. So we get just one more unit. We're waiting for 3 or 4 units up here. If we can get that, then we're going to stop out at 50. I don't mind if the market rips, man. We'll probably be net on that one. It's a small cap kind of day. I don't know, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. We haven't traded any of those, but I know Adara's looking at them. So let's go over to the board to figure out the small cap recap with Miss A. Adara.
There certainly are some small caps in play today, Sean. Here's the IWM. Made a bit of a double top yesterday. Both of these occurring intraday during Thursday's session. Now, though, since that second top there, we have been in a downtrend on this 15-minute chart, currently down over 1%. Here's RNAZ. This is Transcode Therapeutics. This is a multi-day runner. It runs semi-frequently. Most recently, it actually rallied a little bit last week. Transcode Therapeutics, the biggest thing to remember here is the float. It's about a 450,000 share float and about 81% short float. So massive short float, tiny float for RNAZ. Then we have two smaller cap earnings plays on watch. One of them is going to be Amprius Technologies, AMPX. Double beat here for Amprius last night. Also reporting last night was Ouster here. Q4 2024 earnings again. Here actually a bit of a double beat. OUST also has about an 11% short float. So two small cap runners and RNAZ on watch today. Back to you.
RNAZ.
Just a second ago, you could just see like NVIDIA caught like a bid, and then it's like everything just in that same moment caught a big bid. Like the second I saw it, I was gonna punch out. Here, let me cancel those bids. I saw NVIDIA spike up. I'm like, no, Palantir's catching a bid again right at that 87 at the same moment. Went to punch out to reload, but didn't happen. I'm gonna tighten things up and not let this go past break even. Because this trend to the upside, like here's what happened in the futures in that same moment. Like we just broke out the morning high. So you break the open range high, I'm willing to get out and just regroup and work to the next trade. Don't want to turn red on this stock, but don't want to give up the notion that we could get a fade. Because if you remember the morning idea, this is, to me, the reversion trade on Palantir is valid unless it breaks 90. I don't mind getting out to re-enter in a better situation on this bad boy. Glad we got an Intel because we'd just be sitting in it and it just keeps on going higher. So waiting for 24.25 into 24.30, which would have been yesterday's high. I think it's exactly 30 or maybe 31. So if we keep going higher, that's the price that I'm waiting for to get another entry point. Still not in love with any longs though. Like everything else is, like only Micron that we got in and out of, and that doesn't seem to want to get back into that 94 level. So just more patience. We didn't get stopped out break even on Palantir, but as long as the futures stay on this upward trend, I'm going to leave the stop just at our break even spot.
All right, yeah, Micron. We got stopped out of the TQs as it broke 50s there, but again, like that was a pretty good trade for us. We went long at short at 35, out at 50s there. Now it's trying to fade back out. I actually will be going longer now. I feel like we held VWAP okay. If we do drip back in here a little bit, I want to take some shares. I might just. I was thinking about what kind of units to take there. We'll take some at 20s, some at 25 there, and then some at O's if it does come back in. So just wanted to review that before we do this next little rundown here. So, all right, guys, you can see the ad on our screen right now. It is from Trade the Pool. So Trade the Pool is a game-changing platform that caps your risk while giving you the opportunity to trade real shares using company capital. That means no more risking your savings. Trade the Pool now offers an unlimited trading period during the evaluation phase. No pressure, no rushing. Take your time, perfect your strategy, and get funded on, guess whose terms? Your terms right there. So remember, your losses are capped at a one-time evaluation fee, and your profits are unlimited. Head to tradethepool.com to start trading now, and you can easily just scan that QR code. Make sure you scan the QR code first so you can get the 10% off, and then go to the website after that for your Trade the Pool needs. I mean, I'd rather get 10% off than nothing, that is for sure. And we also do have the last day for trade ideas. That'll be flashing there soon as well. You can go over there and pick up your lucky, what are they calling it? Lucky Day? The Lucky Day promotion right
Luck
there.
of the green or
Lucky, yeah, something like that. Something about luck.
The only green luck you need today is, well, no, I'm not. I was going to say betting on MSU, but I'm a homer, so don't bet on that.
They played tonight or they played last night?
No, they played today.
Okay.
Michigan was disappointing. I thought
they
Michigan.
Lost Michigan or?
No, they barely won, man. They barely won. Auburn looks good, but Michigan, they eked it out, and they should have had an easy win. So I'm bearish on the Wolverines a little bit there. Shout out to Ann Arbor, gorgeous campus. Intel is getting very, very close to that 24.30. So we get out, we wait for the next level, and the market is happy to try to oblige here at least. So again, we'll see if we can't go. Epic strategy. Do you flip the chart upside down to feel better about shorting? No. But it's one of those things where if you're a support and resistance, then it's inevitable that you're going to find yourself in shorts as something is going up because it's getting to a resistance level. There's nothing you can do about it. That's just how it works. So you have to find yourself an entry pattern that allows it to work. And it's sometimes psychologically you prefer when stocks go up, and you might want to look at those charts and they look better to you. For those, I'd say look at your inverse ETFs when you get a chance, or any of the inverted ETFs that you're allowed to trade. Maybe that works psychologically for people. I don't care. Support and resistance is what it is. Sometimes you're just going to be shorting a strong market, or you're long like a Micron off lows. That's just part of the game.
Yeah, I don't do any stuff like that. For us, once you get more comfortable with the charts, it doesn't really matter.
Also, just quickly for people asking, IBO that's halted, it's on the Amex, like the NYC America market. And for us, NYC ARCA, with the tap that we get when it's halted is just going to be flat. We don't actually get it's every single time these halts, I see 485, which is where it closed. It's usually on the other markets where we get something a little bit more fluid. So I can't really help you there. It is halted at the high. It looks like this is your small cap runner of the day, IBO.
All right, so it's out a little bit more of Micron here as we bounce around $96. We do have, we'll start along on the Qs, man. I'd hate to get we were short and then we got stopped out basically at the 200 period moving average. The only thing that is questioning the long rate here, it really, in my opinion, is that I'm trying to play the trend higher. It's just, the NASDAQ is still down, have 0.6. It's not looking great. This level here is 60, 70. I'm just trying to go long and see if we can play into that area. I want to buy 60s because it's been holding and get that back up there. But there's the TQs right there. I am well aware that that's that 50-period moving average. We didn't see it at all yesterday until basically the end of the day when we tried to make that move higher. We'll look to see what it wants to do around there. But for right now, we're back long. We're in the money 5 handles, or now we're flat. But nothing to really write home about. There's 60-60 right there. So I almost wish I would have zoomed out a little bit more to see that level and possibly not stopped out on that break of 50. But at the end of the day, it stops perfectly there. So yeah, our short initially was right there at 60.35s. So we basically be flat on that idea, but we did stop out. So we're going to try it. There's the 200 period. I'm just trying it against the 50. So we'll get longer as it falls back in right now. And well aware that this could drop out. So we don't want to put too much risk on this. That's why we're emptying out of Micron right here again. It's very choppy. This could be the rest of the day, just really choppy until we get to the close. I don't think so. I'm not really hearing anything in my ear about anything. That's a good point. I don't know if Donald's coming through or what anytime today, but you never know. Tariff talk. He talked about Liberation Day being April 2nd, of course, is going to be the days when those tariffs kick in. So we've got 2 more weeks before tariffs. So there could be some deals made. He is the deal-making president, so we'll wait to see if there is anything going on there. But here we go.
Quick note.
Yep, go.
Palantir just bounced off VWAP, so we're out. Just going to ring the register on that one. Oh, I'm on the wrong page. Muscle memory, I hit the right button on the wrong page.
Nice.
It doesn't really matter, but we just bounced VWAP. Remember, this was also where the buying was in the afternoon. They double bottomed this at 85 and at 86 and a half.
So Micron.
take it to your level. Remember, the market is you're still trending up. So I want to be taking profits on strong stocks in front of VWAP if I get a reversion. We're out of it. Don't mind reload if we get it. Needed to press maybe into the 88. Oh, exactly. Let's go to Adara, and Intel just got to 2420 and is now again threatening to break the trend. So we haven't gone back into Intel yet, but it got close to that prior high, getting close to the entry. Not yet, but close to the entry. Let's go to Adara.
Take a look here at Bitcoin. This is the crypto update. We're going to take a look here at this daily chart on Bitcoin. Interestingly enough here, bit of an uptrend starting to form from these lows on last Tuesday, March 11th, but we're still in the wider term downtrend after that double top. First top made here Tuesday, December 17th, the second on Inauguration Day on January 20th. So still that longer term downtrend, but a bit of a shorter term uptrend starting to show. Let's take a look here at these crypto names and see what's shaking in that department. Let's take a look here at Binance. Bitcoin still down about 2.4%, holding on to the 84,000 level. Ethereum also down about the same amount, just below 2,000. XRP down about 5%. BNB up about 1%. Cardano and Solana both slightly down in the day. So a little bit of a mixed performance, but generally all these crypto names are going to be slightly red. Also with regards to if Trump is making an announcement, I do want to repeat, keep an eye at 11 a.m. We are going to have Donald Trump and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth make an announcement here related to defense contracts. So keep an eye on any defense tickers as that comes through. Specifically, Boeing and LMT are going to be on watch. Back to you.
Fine. I mean, not finally, but we get a little bit of a move up. Thanks, Adara, for that one. As Trump, speaking there at 11. We'll wait to see if there's anything going on there. So there's a nice move up for the futures. We'll take a little bit out at that level that we got stopped out at there, up at $60.45. So we do take a little piece out there. That was 20 handles. But we're just going to wait to see now what winds up happening on that. So, again, just a couple outs. Trying to just negotiate, right? We're slightly lower than our highest spot today because we did, our highest spot was when this was tanking. So right there, we did get stopped out. Now let's see if we can rip. But, why we're right here right now is your boy is still in Micron. So right here, man, we're trying to believe in this name. We talked about that. So here we go, man. Out a little piece there at 96.08. You just see that out right there. We're still waiting for that 96.20. Hopefully that can come through. And then it'll be yippee-ki-yay. We will not say the rest of that one, but we'll wait to see.
Y'all know what it's like.
Yeah, y'all know. But we'll wait to see now what happens there. It will be one of those moments if it does get back up to the upside. We're just really waiting for NVIDIA to go because that one's been sort of leading again. And if it can break that 117, then oh my, we should have a nice little day on our hands there for the longs. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. All right, 214 coming into play again. Look at Apple. We take a look at that right there at 214.50. OB, all these guys aren't going to come in because with their risk, they're going to just trade the close. So we don't get oh boy action here today. OB was in yesterday, by the way, at the close as well. All right, there's Micron. That was a good trade. Micron, $1.80 now in the money as we continue to hold just a little bit. Now we have 7% left of Micron, so that is all good, man, as that just keeps on going higher and higher and higher. So, let's see if there is that slow climb, man. I mean, we're in the money now, 10 handles. We could take another piece out right here. I'll take out 2% at 37s if we can get it. There it is. So we actually wind up getting that price. So now we're pretty much at our day's high. So let's just keep on going. It's kind of sad because we were already at one-day goal there at 940. And right now we've just kind of spun our heels here for a little bit for the last hour or so. But we're fine with that. You never know where you're going to go in this market. Like if the Q's tanked, then, we'd be huge. But instead we flip up our mind there. It does take out some of those levels. We can clearly see where the momentum is right now, which is why we're holding on to these longs. So let's just see if it continues to print out, man. Again, like these stocks here today, it's been working out. Let's see if the momentum can really work now for us. I could see today in the Qs, like if we're going to have a target, what about 6150, like what we initially wrote down? The market's going to have to go, and you could see it's barcode nation right now. So I don't know if it is going to go or not, but I don't have any more offers. I have one more at 6050, which is the highest we've gotten since we've been in this trade. After that, man, then it is completely washed out. So then we'll see about a higher high. So let's just wait to see if that can go. I'm going to be sitting on the hands, man. We've had 3 trades today. Tesla flat, which is too bad because that's come back in. But I'm not holding that $4 against me, obviously. So right there, bouncing off the 200 period. That was one idea. That's completely flat. Micron is your trade of the day. I think that's pretty obvious right there. Down there, upside, still holding $1.80 in the money. And then the TQs, man. That's been a good trade as well, but needs some work. So that's what we're doing.
And I was able to get out VWAP. And every now and then, you get out of the target, it goes lower, you look like a fool, you get out, it bounces off that level, you look like a genius. But the key is that you found a level or a strategy that works for you. And if you're looking for a place to hone your skills, eSignal is going to be that for you. Why? Because first month's free. And if you're not willing to try something, and we talk about this with food. If you're not willing to try something, don't tell me you don't like it if you've never tried it. You have all the data you can possibly imagine at your fingertips, reliable, highly customizable. It allows you to back test, forward test. You were talking about, Sean was mentioning maybe going over some of the tick replay at some point live for everybody. That's another valuable feature, especially on a wild open like today. You can slow things back, replay it, see what you could have done better, could have done differently. You can connect the API to it, do a little programming if you're into that, able to connect multiple brokers to it so that you can trade directly through your account. At the end of the day, it is a fantastic tool for traders. It is eSignal. Scan that QR code you see out in front of you, or check the link in the description, and shout out to eSignal for that. So we might get an opportunity to reload here on Palantir. It just bounced VWAP. As long as it doesn't break out the afternoon high, like it's just done since the first move up, it's just done the afternoon range. 87 half bottom, 88 change top. Sorry, 86 half bottom, 88 change top yesterday, and then 88 today. There's always a chance we can get another reload if it fails that high. And then Intel still trying to break down off this trend, which I keep having to redraw because I'm not saving it. Still hasn't really broken through this trend line. Every time it dips, it ends up holding the trend. I'm waiting for it to break that trend to get back into the short. That's the difference between today and yesterday, just keeping it a little bit more clean. Micron has a chance to break out. It's holding a trend line as well, which I was waiting for another retap at that bottom at 94. We might not get it. And one more for you that was the fourth and one of the other names we were watching. I've only traded 3 names today. Thankfully, 2 for 3, and this time not bungling Intel, so it wipes out the wins. And that's going to be Nike. You know, Nike, which we gave 0 chance or a very slim chance of getting back to 69, is at its highs and still going higher. So it could get into pre-market high 68 or even into that 69 area, which would be a gap fill. And that's a gap fill, a monster gap fill on the, well, it's not a monster gap fill. It's a monster support level that it'd be the filling the gap to, which is another place I'm looking for shorts because I'm looking to fade moves until proven otherwise. Right here today, Nasdaq's down 0.7%. ES is still down, so we can patiently wait for the next setup. It's 10:40. We got a couple of super chats in here. Apologies for missing that. We got Ben's SPY Max Pain 580. That looks way too high. Could you give your opinion? Well, I mean, if you're looking at, to me, on a day like today, you don't throw out any levels. Like, did we think that Micron was going to get to 94 today? Not really. It seemed unrealistic. I ended up getting to it there. I would argue that is one of those, no. Like, there's almost no chance that you could see 580 on the SPY. I hate speaking in certainties like that, but come on. Like, that's way too much to expect for us to get to there, Benza. So if you're looking for levels to work off of, that's not a realistic one for a day trade. Maybe if you're waiting for a couple of weeks or like maybe next week for sure. Valley Palms, thank you for the super chat. Any on RGC? No, haven't looked at it. I've been holding since 1066, since last Wednesday. Not sure if I should ring the bell or register. Where'd it go? That just disappeared live when I clicked away. Shoot. I was just looking at that RGC one. No. Now it's gone.
I didn't see it.
No, but we got the symbol anyways. That is so weird. Sorry about that, but it doesn't matter. We got the symbol for you there. So RGC, like I haven't looked at this thing at all. This is the. No one ever went broke taking profits. I don't know what this is, but I've got a strong suggestion that if you took out a breakout here and it's already taken out that top, just do some simple math. That is literally a double up from a prior high on a stock which has a history of doing that and then coming all the way back in. So, hey, congratulations. I don't know what this thing is. Probably one of those low foot runners. It's done 600,000 shares, so there's not a lot of liquidity with it. But, you're up 5x. And who knows what these guys do. So congratulations to you. But every time I look at one of those charts, I always cringe when people don't take profit.
Largest TQQ position now on. Let's go over to Adara.
Lots of red in this market today as reflected in our sector board. But really where to start, I think finance is maybe one of the most sharply red sectors. Berkshire Hathaway, which is just at all-time highs yesterday, sharply down in the day. Consumer services pretty red. Producer manufacturing red. Health technology red. Energy minerals also red. Retail trade, utilities, commercial services, consumer non-durables here, of course, with Nike pushing this group to the downside on earnings. Health services, industrials, non-energy minerals here, and then also distribution services. Now, with our tech names, again, it's going to be red, but there are some hope spots. Netflix nicely up on the day. Google and Meta relatively flat, but Microsoft pushing to the downside along with Oracle. Electronic technology, Apple and Broadcom a little bit more muted today, but Cisco, NVIDIA all red here as well, as is Micron. Micron, of course, earnings day one. So a lot of these earnings names are pushing down these moves in their sectors, guys. Back to you.
All right. Just a quick little update there. This went up to the 200 period moving average, so we're already in scalp mode. If this drops, here we go. If this drops below 59.85, we're going to be gone because now the futures are going the other way completely. So in tune of not losing your whole day, as we talked about that over and over again. This right now is out 20 handles. It looks like it does want to come back in here. So we could wind up losing net on this. But again, at the end of the day, good outs up there at 20 and 25s. It's just looks like we will. I mean, I don't know if we hit it, but there's the VWAP. We gave it a little bit of love underneath it. So the fact that we bounced a little bit right here, I'm going to take out another 5% if we can. I'm waiting at 06s here. I don't really know why 06, just because. And again, the reason why I offer a little bit higher than the offer most of the times, or bid a little bit lower than the bid, is to make sure that we get picked up, because if you punch in, it is a different fee structure. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. You don't ever want to miss even 1 penny by doing something like that. So just be careful doing those methods. But at the end of the day, now we're flat on this trade. Again, I don't know. We're buying it off of VWAP. We could have waited, but I tried to take things a little bit ahead of VWAP. This seems to be a little bit more aggressively ahead of it. We probably should have waited. So we'll take out a piece there, sort of, learn our lesson. If this comes back up, I don't have any more offers. I have one at 60.20 this time. So we'll see if we can get out of that. And then after that, 60.30. But, we're going to wait. Get some orders out. Get focused here. See if the TQs does make that move higher. We're long right now at $60.09 on a decent position. Getting lighter up here. There it is. So we take that fill as well. So, okay, Neil. I'm always saying this because, I'm in so many positions and averaging in and averaging out. But right now, we're at the highest spot again that we've been at all day. And it's only, again, because we did put on some shares here. So I'm going to get out of some more right now at 19. And there it is. We get that again on TQs. Take these 12 handles, 13, 15 handles on bigger positions, fine. And then if it rips up, we still will have a piece on. So we've got half left right now. And I'm not super proud of getting out of half. But again, we'll put the money in our pocket. There's only now 15 minutes left before we go off to the midday show, which I'm hoping these guys are around. And then after that, we'll get going. So for right now, it is what it is. We're starting to get some out on the TQs. My next out is $60.30. Here it goes, man. Let's go, Neil. These are chicken dinner winners now. That's what we're freaking talking about right now. So, oh yeah, nice trading there as it goes back up to the upside, man. We take the risks. We get the money. There it is. Finally, TQ starting to go back upside. It was a little frustrating for a minute there. We're going to take a little bit more out there at 27. Let's go right now. Number one P&L name today, Micron, followed by TQs. Let's just see if this can keep going, because in 1 second, the TQs could be the number one P&L name to the downside. So let's just, stay in our positions and watch out for this, man. I mean, it's been a big trade. We're watching levels. We're playing off VWAP. There it goes. Let's see if it can keep on going. So what's up, Adam DeLuz right there? I know you're a real one as well. So congratulations. Hopefully these futures can work out for us, but I don't know. I'm starting to get a little lighter on all of these positions, my guys. So there it is. We just took another out there at $60.16. Take those 12, 15 handles. If we can scalp out, fine, because, hey, man, money is money and it can disappear real quick. Best outs right now, 29s. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, this market's starting to get a little bit range bound, but every time we rub the trend line here, I'm going to get in and just wet the beak. Not going to get in full until it breaks it. So same thing as before. Give it to the prior high. I'm talking about Intel, obviously, as you guys can see with the chart here. That's the only thing I'm watching. Palantir looks awfully strong. And you know what? I feel like when Palantir is strong, sometimes you should just take the shot and run. The tape is distinctly stronger than the other stocks I'm watching. It's stronger than NVIDIA. It's stronger than right now the market. So unless I see, like here, you were rejecting 87.5. Like you see the wick tops on the 3-minute, like you were rejecting those. So I feel more confident, liking a short when you have those wick tops, as opposed to pressing the way the Palantir is. So we're gonna let it break 88 and then work into where it was the short yesterday. I'm not going to reload that one. We're just in Intel. Still has to break the trend to add to it just like the time before. And a shout out to Nicole Harris. You're trading opening range on ORB, remaining patient for a clear break. A day with both political news and triple witching. The fake out risk is high. I agree. I mean, isn't there political news every day these days, though? Mm-hmm. I feel like that's almost always the case. But on a witching day, yeah, there's going to be lots of fake outs. And you want to make sure for the trade that you're in, it's going to look good. Like I'm in less stocks than I was yesterday because there were like mean reversions everywhere. Like here today, and I look back at maybe I should have been in QBTS. I'd make a strong argument that while I had Intel up for the reversion, I could have just had QBTS up. So I can slap the fail on that one, but, you're not going to have every single trade. Just happy to be up today and still looking for that next opportunity, whether it's in Palantir or still right here with Intel. It goes right into that prior high. Doesn't scream to the downside, QBTS, but it is slowly heading to the downside there. Nike is the other one that I'm watching out for. It's got a little bit of a bull flag. Just kind of hoping it breaks it out and gives us a chance to the upside. But it now has also a very, very distinct trend for Nike. Whether you can suddenly connect the dots. It's not at 68 or 69, but I didn't think their quarter was good. And it's still underneath that prior support level on the daily chart for Nike. Down 7%. I do believe it tagged 10% to the downside. So this technically was an SSR bounce, I think, that you could have had. But it's about to break its trend line as well. So Nike was the only other name that we're looking short. Palantir, Nike, and Intel.
Yeah, man, nice. Congrats. Nice battle back after yesterday. So, okay, man.
Yesterday we'll battle back in the afternoon. The morning was terrible.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you're green or red yesterday. But here we go, man. Here goes the TQs. I'm offering right now $60.44. So here we go. This is going to be a good trade. It's 30, 40 handles. Let's see if we can take these outs. I mean, we are just scalping. That's what we do best. And we're just going to continue to do that one more time here today. We've had this month, I think we've had like 1 or 2 red days. So, oh no, what's Obi doing? Where's Sharif at? Oh, he's not here. Was Sharif not here this morning?
Yeah, he was. Of course he was. He was on the desk this morning.
Okay, yeah, no problem. I didn't know if he was filming something.
I was wondering where he was.
Yeah, remember I looked over there and I was like...
Well, because usually, you know what it is?
Yeah.
You smell his, the egg dish that he has every single morning. Like, you smell it just...
Oh, that's what it is.
He heats it up, and you're like, okay, Sharif's at the desk eating that 25 egg concoction that he has each morning. No, but let's go to... Apparently, we're going to the desk. It's time for Money Talks. It's 10:50, everybody.
We're going to get into Money Talks, of course, but I really want to remind everyone at 11 a.m., we have a catalyst on watch. This has been reported by a lot of different entities, including the Wall Street Journal. Donald Trump does have a press conference scheduled with Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth at 11 a.m. in about 10 minutes. At this conference, they are expected to announce a multi-billion-dollar jet fighter. So I've seen that both Lockheed Martin and Boeing are on watch for potential moves with regards to this catalyst, but other defense talks, of course, include Palantir and RTX. So this announcement apparently is going to be for a jet fighter, which could be the most expensive fighter in history. And it's apparently a jet that the Air Force does believe will be vital to deter China's military in decades ahead. So that is the catalyst we're on watch for today at 11 a.m. With that in mind, let's get into the U.S. dollar, which is trying to curl a little bit. We talked a lot about this downtrend, this push to the downside, but now we actually have a 3-day winning streak. Now, the area of resistance we really need to clear would be this 104.10. As of right now, we're trading just below 104s. Here's the CME FedWatch tool. Of course, after that meeting, which went as expected, more or less with regards to the decision on Wednesday, there was no change in the rates. Now here for May, we are still seeing 84% of participants expecting once again, we will have no change in the rates. However, about 15.6% expecting there's going to be a 25 basis point cut. Things start to get really interesting, though, in June. Now we have the overwhelming majority of participants here, about 64.4%, expecting we're going to get a 25 basis point rate cut in June. Almost 25% still expect we're going to have no change, but then 11% actually expecting a 50 basis point cut. So in June, we really start to see participants pricing in a potential rate cut going forward. May, though, it looks like we're going to have rates stay the same as of right now. Keep an eye on these defense stocks once again as we knock on the door of 11 o'clock. Back to you.
Yeah, all right. Thanks, Dara. But right now we got to go over what's for lunch. So it was pretty good yesterday. I think the sandwiches were well received. We had chicken salad as a topper as the protein. I'm hoping today for tuna as I've reached out. All right, today's a great one, man. Butter chicken is in the building. Hopefully today is what we're reading there with vegetable biryani, aloo gobi, which is real nice, man. We like that, man. Cauliflower in there as well with the aloo gobi, of course. So we're really happy with those. Again, little South Asian there meal today. So props up to our caterers. They've been doing a heck of a job, and that is what is indeed
I'm getting some of the butter chicken for sure.
faux lounge.
That's a no.
Right
I
over
didn't have
there.
the sandwich, but
Yeah, you guys are all very, and neither did I. You guys are all very lucky to have Obi. So Obi's going to be coming through in about 5 or so minutes right there. So we'll see some, we'll see some trades happening there on the midday with Joe and Obi. So we're getting ready for that coming through. Joby is in the building
Adobe
there
got up
on
today.
the midday. So yeah, man, let's go. My wife makes a crazy butter chicken, man, and we actually had that on the weekend. That was absolutely fantastic. You got to have the fresh naan and stuff.
yes,
because,
that's it.
and then we use the biryani rice as well. So yeah, I'm all about that.
Got to be
man.
fresh.
We put on like 4 pounds.
I wonder if they'll have fresh. Sometimes we get naan here. I'm hoping they'll have that.
Yeah, it doesn't say it, but yeah.
Usually I thought we get naan bread. But
Yeah, I don't think normally it says like when we get pitas, it doesn't say it.
it
So,
doesn't tell you.
yeah, we'll see. This morning's breakfast was Western omelets. They weren't too bad. I cut one in half there. It's all right. I don't really prefer the omelet, but it's okay. Pastries and bagels, fresh whole fruit. And I actually just recently here, you guys follow on Instagram, this is generally what is for lunch or for breakfast. So you get the fruit, the pastries, and then in there, it was hard-boiled eggs on Monday. So we put that up on the old gram right there. Make sure you go follow us on all of our socials. Instagram, I just found out that Trader Joseph has it, at Trader TV Joseph. So go find him as well. But yeah, Micron is dripping down a little bit. So I have I already told you guys this, I have 2% left. Once we went up there, that was the fills. We were waiting there for those fills. They came through. So we talked about it. This is a great reload spot. Honestly, it's just, I'm going to wait a little bit lower.
94.
Into 94.20s or so. So again, pick your poison if you're interested in any of these names. But for me, I'm going to wait a little bit, and we're not even dropping down. My net is not changing at all. It is, but not by much. The TQs here is a little interesting. I'm going to take out. I just wanted to call this up. I wanted to trade it sort of in front of you guys. We've now traded a couple outs here. Just one out at 60.20. There it is. I'm getting another one right there. That's the 50 period, and it's also the 200 period. Adam and everybody else, there's that 45 fill that we got. So we did make some nice hits up there to the upside. And the thing is, we pride ourselves on reading tape and reading charts. I mean, that's why every day, you're never going to see me go 2 and 6 or anything like that on a name. It's my problem on stocks on the, if I trade 8 stocks, pretty much I'll be 4 for 4. That's generally what it is. But it's share size. It's because it's about trying to figure out, and Obi and I have talked about this, the most important thing about trading is the share size and figuring out when to use more and when to use less. And it's just that's the big thing. So I'm trying to get better on averaging. This didn't even really hurt because we averaged in right here. So when we got stopped out, we take the L, but we just took another fill there at 30s. So it's just when this happens, as long as we're at the right prices, just like right here, right? We got it closer to VWAP. We didn't average in all the way. Right here on these futures trades. This is the evolution, honestly. You're seeing it live right there. I'm telling you, I'm making more money this month than last month, than the month before again. And here go the futures right back up to the high side. So, we're getting much, much better at what we're doing right there. So there it goes, man. There's your hot dog trade of the day again. So there we go, another one, Neil. There's another 50 handles for everybody. So boom goes the dynamite. Again, man, trading these futures has really changed the game here for us at Trader TV Live.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Have your style of action. I don't like averaging in, but whatever works for you. If you're a scalper, you're a scalper. Let me get off pounds here for a quick little second because I got over to Intel. We got it. It does not break the trend, so we don't give it to the prior high. We'll take a shot at Intel. Still at least not going to be giving it away on this stock. It still wants to head to the upside.
Boy.
Still going to wait for this 24.5 level. That's going to be the next play. But sometimes the best trade you make could be one that you avoid. And I didn't reload pounds here, and we're glad it's looking incredibly strong now on pounds here heading back. And it looks like we're going to get at that run at the 89 to 90 level on PLTR. I do still favor Micron. I know Micron broke down or is breaking down. I still like this 94 level. I think we'll go back. If it can do any kind of a trend reverse off the 94, I'm still going to jump in. Only 3 minutes to go. Nike, which we just got into for the first time here today. So that's the only other stock that we traded. it broke an uptrend, and we're looking for a VWAP retrace there on Nike. So pretty much the only thing that we are left in. Intel will have to wait for 24.4, something along those lines, and Micron going to wait for that 94 level for sure. Thank you, Epic Strategy. You're a holder, but you love the content. Everyone's a holder in the long term, but there's always a place to learn from even just process, because process is transferable across all kind of time frames. And random IBO ready to go again or topping. I had not been tracking that small cap stock, and I'm in the midday. With Sharif not here, I don't know if anyone's going to be looking at that IBO. It doesn't look incredibly liquid, but it's done like 74 million shares. Purple level 2, it doesn't look like it would be, but this is an incredibly strong one. Good luck trading it for sure. Just remember, this was a 40-cent stock 2 days ago, and it's now at $6. So there's going to be profit takers on any kind of a pullback on a name like this. Just always be careful trading these names. And no one can, to me, you never go broke taking profit. I don't like them because I find there's no good risk to reward when you try to trade those. To me, I like risk to reward. And if you can determine where you want to get out, but can't be sure where you're going to get out when it breaks, that's a little bit troubling, usually for me. That's why chasing these moves I don't like. If you can get it in these tighter ranges in here, fine. But I don't like chasing those types of moves. So good luck with that IBO if you happen to be trading it. Looks like a good one, but not for me. To each their own.
Thanks, Calvin. You know, we really appreciate those kind words there because, yeah, man, the TQs and the futures have really been great. We'll watch out to see what's going on with your Nike position. Micron, again, we were talking about maybe not buying that one, but it looks like that was a mistake. Should have bought it for sure as we look to see what's going on right now with Micron as it's bouncing off that 94.50 right back up to 95 again. So Micron trying to make them sing a little bit right there. We'll watch to see if it continues its climb higher back into the 50 period. If we can get that, then we can get that. There's nothing else.
Another one.
We've been giving you these trades all day. And there goes the futures, man. We've talked about it. We've done it right now. We're holding it. We've got those diamond hands on board right now. Obi, it's just 80 handles in the money. You're going to kill it on the midday, so go get that money right there too, my friend. So, yeah, so far so good right now. There it is. Nice moves on the TQs. It's gone. The number one P&L name will be Micron, followed by TQs, and then that's about it. And then I guess some of your trades will pop in there because I only have Tesla, which I am a latte down on. So right now, Tesla coming into play for a very, very small hit right there. But we are leading the day here. There goes, like now we're almost a whole 100 handles in the money right now on the futures. So there it goes, TQs. We're actually trading triple the futures right now. So nice upside move there as we choose the NASDAQ. And Pikachu, I choose you. Good show, Neil. Hopefully we'll be able to get a little bit more here on the midday. We'll be posting up in there. And damn, that butter chicken smells good.
It smells ridiculously good, but don't forget, it is witching today. So the close is going to be a different beast. When we come back on at 2 o'clock, there's 2 to 3:30, and then 3:30 to 4 is going to be a different beast. And if you've never paid attention to the close, it should be a wild one. You never really know, but last time was insane. Apple was absurd. The last time there was a quarterly rebalance. The trend up and the trend down was moves that you haven't seen in a long time on that stock. So make sure you tune in. But for now, you've got a treat because Obi, as Sean said, Obi is going to be joining Joey Options for Learn to Trade. Go get him, boys.
Dude,